Chapter 2784. Seeing the vermilion bird lying on the ground and trembling, the experts in the Yi family's main hall all laughed. What vermilion bird race? In front of the Yi family's extreme weapon, wouldn't they kneel and crawl? The vermilion bird race's expert had an ugly expression. His eyes were burning with anger. Damn it! How dare you treat me like this? I'll have the family destroy you. He was furious. When had he ever been so afraid in front of so many humans? Humph! The Grand Elder snorted and waved his hand. Immediately, the extreme weapon's pressure disappeared without a trace. The vermilion bird race's expert also stood up from the ground. His body trembled, and killing intent surged out of his body. Yi Wudao also took a step forward. His golden aura surged as he faced the Grand Elder without fear. Seeing that the atmosphere was getting more and more tense, the Yi family's patriarch spoke. We can give you the 5 million-mile area you asked for. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. The vermilion bird race's expert smiled, but soon his smile froze. The Yi family's patriarch continued. However, you can't stay in the Yi family's territory. You can move out of the Yi family's territory and divide it in another ungoverned territory. The vermilion bird race's expert's expression turned ugly. He wanted them to retreat. Wasn't this admitting that the vermilion bird race was afraid of the other party? If news of this spread, the vermilion bird race would lose face. How would they survive in the future? They would probably be mocked to death by countless people. Impossible. The vermilion bird race's expert refused. The Yi family's patriarch didn't get angry. Instead, he said indifferently, "You felt the Emperor's pressure just now, right? Our Yi family has a complete extreme weapon, and we have enough resources and ability to fully activate it. How much do you know about the extreme weapon's power? I can tell you about it. 30,000 years ago, a demonic sect appeared in the eastern wilderness. It was extremely terrifying. Its strength was equivalent to a top holy land, but its methods were extremely cruel and it killed countless people. In order to return peace to the world, the Yi family's Saint Physique carried an extreme weapon and destroyed the demonic palace with a single attack. All the experts inside were killed. Not a single one of them came out alive. 50,000 years ago, the demon race prospered. A peerless genius appeared and became a demon saint. Their strength was extremely terrifying, and they slaughtered the human race. At the critical moment, the saint of the Yi family once again brought out an extreme weapon. With one strike, he sank half of the Eastern Barren territory and killed that talented saint of the demon race. At this point, the Yi family's martial artist, Old Zhang, was very excited. They all clenched their fists. The faces of the vermilion bird tribe elites became paler and paler. In fact, even without the other party's explanation, he already knew how terrifying and powerful these extreme weapons were. That was a weapon forged and used by a great emperor. It contained an extremely powerful emperor's might, surpassing that of a saint. As long as he was resurrected, it would be equivalent to a great emperor temporarily descending into the mortal world. His power would definitely be unimaginable, and he would be able to sweep through everything. Seeing the other party's expression, the Yi clan's patriarch smiled. Very good. It seems like you know the power of an extreme weapon. Then, how far is the vermilion bird tribe from my Yi clan's headquarters? Would he be able to dodge the attack of an extreme weapon? At this point, the vermilion bird race's expert's expression changed greatly and cold sweat appeared on his back. His clothes were wet and the flames on his body dimmed. That's right, they were incomparably powerful and wanted to suppress the Yi clan, but they forgot that they were too close to the Yi clan. If the Yi clan was angered and directly used an extreme weapon, the vermilion bird tribe would not be able to escape. After all, this distance was completely within the attack range of an extreme weapon. Even if their patriarch was resurrected, it would probably be useless. Just the aftermath of that energy would be able to destroy any existence below a saint. Thinking of this, his attitude changed. I can't make the decision on this matter. I need to go back and discuss it with the elders of the Vermilion Bird tribe. No problem, there's no hurry. The Yi clan's patriarch smiled. I'll give you a month to discuss it. Men, send the guests out. The Yi clan's patriarch waved his hand, and the elders of the Yi clan sent the Vermilion Bird tribe elite out of the Yi clan's residence. After the Vermilion Bird tribe elite left the Yi clan's residence, he turned into a fiery red light and instantly left. This was a big matter, a big crisis. He had to report it quickly. Ha! After the Vermilion Bird tribe elite left, the elders of the Yi clan also laughed loudly. What Vermilion Bird tribe? No matter how strong they are nothing in front of the Yi clan. That's right, once an extreme weapon is used, it will sweep away everything. However, the Yi clan's patriarch and the grand elders had grave expressions. The Yi clan's patriarch sighed. He was not so optimistic. Although the Vermilion Bird tribe was strong, they were only a royal clan. Above the royal clan was the immemorial royal clan. Those were also clans with great emperors. In their hands, it was very likely that they also had extreme weapons. When the time came to encounter them, they would have no advantage. The atmosphere in the hall became heavy once again. Indeed, the other party also had the bloodline of a great emperor and even had extreme weapons left in the world, so they had to be careful. However, they didn't know how many extreme weapons the other party had. Not only the Yi clan, but the Gu clan, Jade Pool, Alkade, Dao, Holy Ground, and other sacred grounds with extreme weapons all displayed the emperor's might of their extreme weapons to scare away the immemorial royal clan. The cultivators outside heaved a sigh of relief as the figures left in a sorry state. Fortunately, these powerful families and sacred grounds could still intimidate these immemorial royal clan. There was still a glimmer of hope for the human race. In addition to the eastern wilderness, the western desert, Nanling Mountains, and northern plains were the same. Some sacred grounds and sects directly surrendered and ceded 5 million miles of land. Some negotiated with each other to reduce the land. Some directly drove the immemorial royal clan away. In short, the atmosphere around the world was very tense. However, Zhongzhou was not so lucky. The divine dynasties and sacred grounds in Zhongzhou were very depressed, especially those divine dynasties near Qinling Mountains. Their expressions were even more ugly. They had no choice because the nest of 10,000 dragons was here. The nest of 10,000 dragons was the lair of the Dragon Clan. The Dragon Clan was an immemorial royal clan and was very terrifying. Moreover, there had been a great emperor in the Dragon Clan. The Dragon Emperor was very famous. Even now, there were still people who remembered his records. One could imagine how terrifying the Dragon Emperor was back then. And the Dragon Emperor must have left behind an extreme weapon to suppress in the nest of 10,000 dragons. Therefore, this was definitely a very dangerous place. Ever since the Dragon Clan revived, the surrounding Ninli dynasty and the Great Xia dynasty directly abandoned that area. They gave the entire Qinling Mountains and the surrounding 50 million miles to the Dragon Clan. Chapter 2785. What made them heave a sigh of relief was that the dragon race in the 10,000 dragon suppression never appeared and did not cause trouble for them. This made all the emperors and sect masters think that the nest of 10,000 dragons was already safe. How could they know that all the powerhouses in the nest of 10,000 dragons were protecting the newly born dragon prince? They were plotting an even more terrifying plan. In addition to the dragon race in the nest of 10,000 dragons, there were also a few terrifying royal races in the true spirit world. These were all races that had produced great emperors and emperors. Divine Phoenix Ridge. A great emperor had appeared in the Phoenix clan. The immortal Phoenix's name was also very terrifying. Of course, among the 10,000 ancient races, not only the nest of 10,000 dragons and divine Phoenix Ridge's 2 royal races, there were also a few other royal races that were still sleeping. But thinking about it, it wouldn't be long before they all woke up one by one. Every once in a while, a new race would awaken and appear on the earth. These human warriors were all in a state of panic and unease. On the human side, Immortal Palace, Yi family, Gu family, Alcade, Jade Pool, and other Holy Land sects were all nervously preparing for war, to deal with the counterattack of the 10,000 ancient races. However, there was one more thing that shocked everyone. They didn't even dare to believe it. The news came from the central continent. Of course, it wasn't news from the nest of 10,000 dragons, but news from the Silver Lightning race. When the True Spirit World's warriors learned that the Silver Lightning race's emissary entered Immortal Palace and made the same request, they were forcefully beaten out by Immortal Palace. Although no one knew the specific details, this result caused the world to be in an uproar. Heavens, is this for real? I don't dare believe it. That's right, is Immortal Palace already so strong? They actually dared to directly attack the 10,000 ancient races. That was the Silver Lightning race. Although it wasn't an ancient royal race, it was still a very terrifying race. However, they were actually beaten out by Immortal Palace's people. It was really unbelievable. Perhaps even those desolate ancient families didn't dare to do so. It was said that the one who attacked was none other than Immortal Palace's Hall Master, Lin Xian. The other party was really strong. It's over. This kid had definitely provoked a huge disaster. He dared to do this because he was young and had Immortal Palace behind him. But how could he know that he had provoked endless trouble for Immortal Palace? Just wait and see. The Silver Lightning race will definitely not take this lying down. At that time, when the great army arrived, Immortal Palace would be finished. Sounds of discussion sounded one after another. Everyone was first shocked by Lin Xian and Immortal Palace's power. After that, many people shook their heads and sighed. After all, they had completely offended the Silver Lightning clan. Offending a 10,000 ancient race was an extremely terrifying outcome. The Yi clan, Gu clan, Yao Guang, Jade Lake, and Dao Grade Holy Lands were all dumbfounded when they heard this. This was especially true for the remote antiquity families and the sacred ground sects that possessed extreme weapons. This Lin Xian was truly arrogant. Even though we possess extreme weapons, it's only enough to intimidate the 10,000 ancient races. We don't dare to actually attack them. Who would have thought that the other party would actually make a move? Where did he get that backing from? Could it be that their Immortal Palace also had extreme Dao weapons? That shouldn't be possible, right? He had never heard of any great emperor from Immortal Palace. While these people were discussing fervently, some other clans, such as the Tuoba clan, the Five Elements Palace, and the Yinyang sect, were sneering. Great, this guy is really courting death. Just wait. He will definitely be killed by the Silver Lightning clan. The Silver Lightning clan was indeed extremely furious. Ever since the experts they sent out returned, the Silver Lightning clan had been furious. Immortal Palace actually dared to beat back the emissary they sent out, and even made them kneel and kowtow. This was truly unforgivable. Damn it, this brat was too arrogant. What Immortal Palace master? In front of our Silver Lightning clan, he is just an ant. Capture him and let him taste all the torture in the world. Let him kneel before our Silver Lightning clan for eternity. What Immortal Palace? How dare they be so arrogant, daring to use the word immortal in their name? Isn't it just an ordinary sacred ground? Directly destroy it. Let everyone know that our Silver Lightning clan's might is not to be trifled with. These Silver Lightning clan experts all shouted angrily. Some of the elders among them also had gloomy expressions. However, soon the Silver Lightning clan's patriarch transmitted a message, telling them not to act rashly. Lin Xian had to be killed, and Immortal Palace also had to be destroyed. However, they still had to wait. This time, when the 10,000 ancient races revived, many races were on the same front, so they were all secretly plotting. Moreover, it was said that a few of the royal families were going to make a big move. At this critical moment, they must not send out troops en masse and attract everyone's attention. Otherwise, the secret would probably be exposed. Damn it, let that brat live for a while longer. When the Silver Lightning Clan experts heard the news from their patriarch, they all gritted their teeth. However, there were also some people who sneered. The patriarch said that they could not send out troops en masse. However, he did not say that they could not go out alone. What do you mean? We have just come into being, so we can take a look at the prodigies of this world and see how strong they are. If they are weak and are killed by us on the spot, then they can't blame us. Several young prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan revealed sinister smiles. However, that brat seems to be very strong. Even the emissary we sent out was injured. In fact, his soul was even controlled. Someone said with a frown. However, there were also some prodigies who sneered. It was fine. He probably attacked with all his strength and caught us off guard, which was why he injured our emissary. Moreover, we only sent out an emissary. How can he be compared to us? As long as we can defend our souls and be careful of his sword energy, there is nothing to be afraid of. That's right. I heard that the master of the Immortal Palace, Lin Xian, has obtained the title of Central Emperor. He is one of the strongest prodigies of the human race in this world. Killing him is the fastest way to prove our strength. The three young prodigies left the Silver Lightning Clan in a flash. Just as the prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan were preparing to attack Lin Xian, something unknown happened on the other side of the world. There was a forbidden area in the western desert called the Reincarnation Mountain. This place was extremely terrifying. Regardless of whether you were an ordinary person or an extremely terrifying saint, as long as you walked in, you would never be able to come out again. Therefore, as time passed, no one dared to appear around the Reincarnation Mountain. There were no trees or plants. In fact, no one dared to set foot in a radius of tens of millions of miles. It could be said that this was a true forbidden area. However, at this moment, a figure appeared in front of the Reincarnation Mountain. It was an old figure. This figure had the demeanor of a transcendent being, as if an immortal had descended. He looked at the Reincarnation Mountain in front of him, his eyes flickering like the vast stars. If Lin Xian and the others were here, they would definitely scream, because this old man was their Immortal Palace's old palace master, Xiajiu. Xiajiu did not go to the nest of 10,000 dragons, nor did he go to snatch the immortal divine medicine. Instead, he came to the western desert, near the desolate Reincarnation Mountain. Could it be that he wanted to enter the Reincarnation Mountain? Chapter 2786. As expected, Xiajiu walked towards the Reincarnation Mountain. The Reincarnation Mountain was 10,000 feet tall and looked similar to the other mountains. However, when one got closer, one would realize that there was a terrifying force that seemed to want to suck one in. Xiajiu also felt this force. He frowned. Is this the power of reincarnation? He snorted coldly as a sage aura rushed out of his body. Divine chains of order circled around him, blocking the power of reincarnation outside. In the next moment, he strode forward. In an instant, he entered the Reincarnation Mountain. The Reincarnation Mountain was 10,000 feet tall. It was very tall in the eyes of ordinary people, but in the eyes of these experts, it was very small. However, that wasn't the case. There was another world in the Reincarnation Mountain. It could even be said to be a world of its own. After entering, one would realize that it was extremely vast, as if it was really a new world. Boom! As soon as Xiajiu entered, he realized that he was in a vast plain. The vast plain was tens of millions of miles long, and he couldn't see the end of it. On his left and right, there were countless figures. On his left, there were terrifying savage beasts. The savage beasts had monstrous auras and terrifying killing intent. They were all peerless demon kings. There were even a few in the sky that were emitting terrifying sage auras. Saint-level demon kings had actually appeared here. It was too terrifying. On his right, there were thousands of soldiers and horses. There were also some demon kings, but they were all subdued by humans and used as mounts. One of the palms stretched out, carrying the sun, moon, and stars. It shrouded the sky as if it was going to replace it. A great battle broke out. Divine chains of order surged, and terrifying roars shook the sky. There were even mystic skills that had been lost for a long time. Heaven and earth exploded, and Xia Juyo's body was shrouded in endless light. Buzz! In an instant, a biting cold aura rushed out of Xia Juyo's body. With a snort, all the images were wiped out. It was just an illusion. That's right, an illusion. The Reincarnation Mountain was a place of reincarnation. It could evolve the past, present, and future scenes. It was enough to pass off as real, and even sages could get lost in it. Xia Juyo was too powerful. He walked out of the reincarnation world in an instant. The surroundings turned dark again. Xia Juyo's body swayed, and he flew forward. After flying for an unknown period of time, an ocean finally appeared in front of him. It was also vast and boundless, with no end in sight. Furthermore, the seawater was black, incomparably black, as if it was the water of hell. In the middle of this black sea, a white bridge appeared. It was incomparably white and carried with it a strange aura. On the bridge, there were 3 words written in flamboyant calligraphy. They were very simple and were written in the primordial language. However, Xia Juyo could see it clearly. Bridge of Helplessness. River Styx, Bridge of Helplessness. Legend had it that they were 2 godly items from hell. But now they had actually appeared in the Reincarnation Mountain. It had to be said that the Reincarnation Mountain was indeed a peerless forbidden area. Once these 2 terrifying items appeared, they would be able to block the path of a saint. In fact, if a saint were to fall inside, he would probably not be able to come out. However, all of this terrifying scene seemed to be insignificant to Xia Juyo. He was like an immortal as he stepped onto the bridge of helplessness. His body erupted with terrifying divine light, blocking all of the aura of darkness. Finally, he crossed the bridge of helplessness. The scenery before them changed once more. It was as if they had arrived at a new world, surrounded by vast mountains. Boom! Boom! Many cracks appeared on the brown ground, and there was even blood. In the distance, there were birds and beasts roaring. There were even human figures flickering. This scene was no different from the true spirit world outside. It even made people suspect that Xia Juyo had already left the Reincarnation Mountain and arrived outside. Ahead, there were roars of demonic beasts and humans. There were even shocking vibrations. Clearly, something strange was happening. However, no one knew what it was. Xia Juyo did not walk over. He stood on the brown ground and looked ahead like a divine lamp. Come out, everyone. Something big is happening outside. Xia Juyo's voice rang out. Then the world changed. Endless black chi rolled as if a peerless demon king was born. Boom! A terrifying roar sounded as a black dragon appeared in the sky. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws, roaring loudly. The black dragon emitted a terrifying saint aura. It was actually a saint-level black dragon. There was actually a dragon here. What was even more shocking was that there was a human figure standing on the black dragon. It was a pitch-black figure with red eyes like a peerless demon king. The aura on his body was even more terrifying. It was as if he wanted to tear the entire world apart. Buzz! Another pure white light appeared, and a beautiful woman appeared in the starry sky. She was surrounded by armor, and divine chains of order danced in the air. Because of her appearance, the surrounding plants and trees grew crazily. In an instant, they reached a height of 1,000 feet. "Old fart, why are you looking for us?" A loud voice rang out. The sky was instantly split in half, and the pitch-black crack would never heal. A blue-robed man walked over. He carried a long saber on his back, and his body emitted an unparalleled light. That sharp aura even made the divine chains of order tremble. One could imagine how terrifying this swordsman was. "Old Xiao, what's the matter? Is there a new change outside?" An ethereal voice drifted over. A black hole appeared in the sky. A green-robed man appeared from the black hole. He was half lying in the void, holding a wine gourd in his hand. His eyes were blurry as if he was drunk. "You old drunkard." Xiajiu looked at him and shook his head. However, he quickly stopped smiling. His expression was extremely solemn. Something had really happened outside. The awakening of the nest of 10,000 dragons had triggered the awakening of the 10,000 ancient races. Now, more than half of the 10,000 ancient races had awakened. Among them, there was no lack of ancient royal races, and even 2 or 3 ancient royal races had awakened. And from the looks of it, the remaining few would also awaken in the near future. What? The 10,000 ancient races had awakened. Even those ancient royal races had awakened? The green-robed woman and the blue-robed swordsman had solemn expressions. In the sky, the middle-aged man drinking wine was also extremely surprised. How could this be? It's 300 years ahead of our deduction. Standing on the black dragon, the figure covered in demonic qi said coldly. As he spoke, the demonic qi on his body churned rapidly, and one could vaguely see his white hair fluttering in the wind. His face was very young, and he looked to be in his 20s. This white-haired youth was very young, but no one dared to underestimate him. The aura on his body was too cold. It was so cold that the entire world trembled. If this wasn't the reincarnation realm inside the reincarnation mountain, there would have been a huge collapse outside. Chapter 2787. The nest of 10,000 dragons was discovered in advance, and a group of sacred leaders and sect masters went in to explore. In the end, it triggered the awakening of the experts inside. Xiajiu briefly explained the situation outside. In the sky, a few stalwart figures listened with solemn expressions. Among them, the white-haired demon lord snorted coldly. This group of people really didn't know what was good for them. The green-clothed fairy goddess also sighed. Reincarnation was more damaged than we imagined. We haven't repaired it yet. Who would have thought that chaos was about to erupt outside again? What a coincidence. No, this matter must be stopped. With the descent of the 10,000 races, the human race will suffer a destructive blow. We must not let the events of the primordial era happen again. After so many years of hard work, the great emperor of the human race must not be wasted. The blue-clothed saber saint's voice was sonorous. It was really a crisis. The drinking uncle in the sky also sighed. We can't leave this place for the time being. At most, we can only send a few clones over. What they were most worried about now was the number of extreme weapons and the number of saints in the primordial theocrats. How many were there? Xiajiu took a deep breath. There were at least 3 extreme weapons, and the number of saints would definitely not be small. Moreover, the remote antiquity families and the few peerless sacred grounds would not use their trump cards unless they had no other choice. Therefore, they would definitely be at a disadvantage. More importantly, the emperors and princesses were also resurrected this time. Their ability to rally people was too strong. The primordial theocrats would probably reach an unprecedented level of unity. This was the most fatal thing to the human race. As soon as these words were spoken, the stalwart figures in the sky fell silent. After a long time, the white-haired demon lord said in a deep voice, "What do you need us to do?" Next, Xiajiu began to transmit his voice to the stalwart figures. After hearing this, they frowned and transmitted their voice as well. In the end, both sides reached an agreement and set up a plan. There was no time to lose. Everyone should act together. They must intimidate the primordial theocrats. There must not be chaos, Xiajiu said in a deep voice. The others nodded and prepared to leave. However, at this moment, the drinking uncle in the sky smiled. "Old Xia, how is that kid? Not bad, right? He's beyond imagination. In the future, he will definitely be one of the strongest geniuses in the great emperor competition." Xiajiu said, Of course. How could the person that I chose be wrong? In the sky, the middle-aged man who was drinking laughed. However, Xiajuyo sighed. However, the incident in the nest of 10,000 dragons this time was also caused by this brat. It was Xiao Chen who discovered the location of the nest of 10,000 dragons. That was why all the holy sovereigns and church masters chased after him. It was fate. However, that was also good. Those saints and saintesses were no longer enough to train him. It was a good opportunity for these prides of the far ancient royal family to compete with him. Let him do what we couldn't do back then. Once those words were spoken, the surrounding figures were also astonished. Who was this young man they were talking about? How could he receive such an evaluation? After all, regardless of whether it was Xiajuyo or the figure within the black vortex in the sky, both of them were extremely terrifying existences. That god shocked them to the core. However, who was this young man that both of them were praising? How heaven-defying would it be? This made them very curious. At this moment, the figure in the black vortex in the sky put away the wine pot and said with a smile, "Old Xia, let me introduce you to another person, our new partner." Oh, new partner? Xiajuyo was stunned. To be able to become their partner, that person's strength was definitely earth-shattering, because their strength wasn't as simple as a saint's. As the voice fell, a ray of light flew over from afar and turned into a middle-aged man. He walked with majestic steps and a calm gaze, carrying an unparalleled domineering aura. Feeling the aura from this person, Xiajuyo also narrowed his eyes. In front, the imposing figure looked at Xiajuyo and said in a deep voice, "I'm Lin Zhan." "Greetings, old Xia." "Lin Zhan," Xiajuyo muttered. At this moment, the white-haired demon lord said in a deep voice, "He's qualified to stand side by side with me." The exceptional sword saint and fairy goddess nodded as well. Obviously, they also tacitly approved of Lin Zhan's strength. In the sky, the figure in the black vortex also stood up. "Old Xia, don't worry. His origin isn't simple either. If there's a chance, I'll tell you. Now, let's hurry up and make arrangements to intimidate the 10,000 ancient races." All right, several earth-shattering figures disappeared in the reincarnation mountain. In the vast land of the Middle State, 3 silver silhouettes streaked across the sky like flashes of lightning. The imperial capital of the Divine Wind Empire is in front. Let's go there. All right. One of the figures let out a cold laugh, and 3 streaks of lightning quickly flew towards the imperial capital of the Divine Wind Empire. The Divine Wind Empire was one of the most terrifying empires in the Middle State. Its imperial capital was, of course, incomparably prosperous. A huge city, like an immemorial beast, stood on the boundless earth. The dragon chi here was abnormally dense. Spiritual chi was everywhere, especially in the depths of the palace. There were low dragon roars that weren't any weaker than the ones in the nest of 10,000 dragons. At this moment, 3 silver figures domineeringly descended in the imperial capital. These 3 figures were very arrogant. They directly descended from the sky and even activated the array formation of the Divine Wind Empire. Who dared to barge into the imperial capital? Cold snorts sounded one after another, and those experts in battle armor rushed out. Their cold gazes looked towards the sky. To enter the imperial capital, one had to pay spiritual stones from the south gate to enter. Who dared to directly descend from the sky? This was an act of courting death. In the sky, the 3 figures sneered. "We are the experts of the Silver Lightning Clan. If you dare to leave with us, we will kill you without mercy." The 3 of them were very arrogant. They descended amidst the light of the array formation that filled the sky. What? The experts of the Silver Lightning Clan. The cultivators in the imperial capital cried out in alarm. Countless gazes looked forward. They were indeed ancient creatures. They discovered that the 3 figures were very young. but their bodies were covered in silver scales and surrounded by terrifying silver lightning. Why would the experts of the Silver Lightning clan come here? Could it be that something big was about to happen again? These cultivators were discussing fervently. The guards also had ugly expressions on their faces. One had to know that ordinary people, even people from other sacred lands, wouldn't dare to trespass into their imperial capital like this. But the other party dared to. Moreover, they really didn't dare to make a move, because the other party was an ancient creature, an expert of the 10,000 ancient races. They could only report this scene. Soon, the elders above sent down a message. They told the guards to retreat and ignore the 3 experts of the Silver Lightning clan. This scene caused the cultivators in the imperial capital to cry out in alarm. The divine Wind Empire was silently lowering its head. The 10,000 ancient races were really terrifying. Chapter 2788. Yes, 3 young people could break the rules of the imperial court as they wished. Keep your voice down. They are godlike existences now. Don't provoke these ancient creatures. Otherwise, you won't even know how you died. An older generation figure warned. Sure enough, wherever the 3 Silver Lightning race experts passed, the human cultivators all retreated. They didn't even dare to get close to them. This scene made the 3 Silver Lightning race geniuses very satisfied. What they wanted was this kind of respect. I wonder what the 3 of you are here for. A royal family elder walked over and wanted to invite the 3 Silver Lightning race experts into the imperial palace. There's nothing else. We're just here to challenge a person. To be more precise, we want to teach a person a lesson. Teach a person a lesson? Who dared to provoke the experts of the Silver Lightning clan? Who was so reckless? Could it be that kid? They remembered the previous rumor that the Silver Lightning race's envoy was beaten out by Immortal Palace's Lin Xian. That's right, their guess was right. A Silver Lightning race heavenly genius spoke. Precisely Immortal Palace's Lin Xian. Spread the news to the world. Say that we're waiting for him in the imperial capital. Tell him to wash his neck clean and come here to die. Since he dares to provoke us, he's dead meat. Lin Xian, it's really Lin Xian. They're actually going to attack Lin Xian. Heavens, this is truly a shocking piece of news. Lin Xian is not only the master of Immortal Palace, but also the Central Emperor. He's one of the 5 great titled geniuses of the human race. There aren't many geniuses in the human race who dare to challenge him. They didn't expect that the creatures of the 10,000 ancient races would actually attack him. Do you think that Lin Xian can withstand it? I don't know. It's rumored that the 10,000 ancient races are very terrifying. That's not necessarily true. Lin Xian is one of the top 5 geniuses. How can he lose? Discussions sounded one after another. Everyone was discussing animatedly. They knew about Lin Xian's strength. In the younger generation, there weren't many people who were his match. However, they hadn't seen these geniuses of the 10,000 ancient races in action, but they knew about it from the legends. How terrifying were these 10,000 ancient races! Therefore, if the 2 sides really fought, it would be hard to say who was stronger and who was weaker. However, there were also people who were unconvinced. Sure enough, someone stepped forward. Although the 10,000 ancient races are strong in terms of individual strength, you're no match for God Lin Xian. That's right. Lin Xian is the Central Emperor. How can you compare to one of the top geniuses of the human race? You are just relying on the fact that you have survived since ancient times and have ancestors in your family. Many people muttered softly. Clearly, they were very dissatisfied with the attitude of the 3 Silver Lightning race's sky prides. Rely on our family? Are we inferior to that human brat? What a joke! The 3 Silver Lightning clan experts were enraged. How can ants like you understand our strength and power? Whoever wants to die can come and try. Let's see if we are strong or not. The 3 of them stood there like fiend gods. Lightning constantly surged from their bodies, turning into lightning beasts that roared in all directions. Humph, do you think I'm afraid of you? Today, I'm going to experience just how powerful the legendary 10,000 ancient races are. A young man walked out from the crowd. It was him, Mo Tianyi. He was also a sky pride. Yes, he was a genius of the Mo family, and he was very powerful. It was said that he had the combat strength of a saint, and it was said that he admired Lin Xian very much. He especially admired Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body. It seemed that this time he was going to make a move. Everyone retreated, but at the same time they were nervous and expectant. If a saint-level sky pride were to fight against the ancient creatures, they would definitely be able to detect the strength of these ancient creatures. After all, the saint level was still the top level among the younger generation. In front, the 3 silver lightning races sky prides looked at the young man who walked out with disdain in their eyes. You're the one who wants to challenge us? That's right, it's me. And Mo Tianyi snorted coldly, and a golden light rushed out of his body, turning into golden giants that roared beside him. You're courting death. Great, I'll play with you. In front, one of the silver lightning races, sky prides, walked out. He looked at the other party and said, "Use your strongest attack. Otherwise, you won't have a chance. You'll see." And Mo Tianyi snorted coldly. Divine light palm. He made a move. He struck out with his palm. The golden palm was like a Buddha, covering the sky and the earth. The void instantly collapsed. You're overestimating yourself. How dare an ant compete with the sun and the moon? In front, the silver lightning races, sky pride sneered and threw out a punch. Silver lightning jumped on his body, wrapped around his fist, and rushed forward. This silver fist was even more ferocious and domineering, carrying with it a supreme aura. Boom! Boom! The two collided, and a bright light burst out. Waves of energy swept in all directions. Crack! 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 Countless cracks appeared on the divine light palm, and then it suddenly shattered. What a terrifying power of lightning! Even the divine light palm couldn't resist it. It was too terrifying. The divine light palm was an extremely terrifying power of the light element, and it was said to be able to shatter everything. However, at this moment, it couldn't compete with the other party at all. Damn it! Mo Tianyi's expression also changed. He felt a violent power surging toward him. It was as if it was going to devour him and tear his body apart. The other party was too powerful, so powerful that it was beyond his imagination. He was already a saint's sky pride. However, the other party's casual punch had caused a fatal crisis to him. Scram! He roared, and his body was like a golden stream of light as he quickly retreated. At the same time, the golden giants on both sides blocked in front of him and attacked. Roar! The two light giants were indomitable like immortal kings. However, the silver lightning races, sky pride sneered. With a furious roar, the lightning fist suddenly exploded. It instantly blasted the two light giants away. This energy also blasted Mo Tianyi, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood. His body was charred black, and the lightning had also penetrated his body. Not only that, but his entire body was numb, and he couldn't use any power. This lightning was too frightening. Mo Tianyi didn't attack again. His body was trembling, and his face was full of fear. Trash! You're trash! You can't even block one of my punches. At the front, the silver lightning races, sky pride sneered, and the surrounding people were dumbfounded. Was that true? A saint's sky pride couldn't even block the other party's punch? The Silver Lightning clan was simply too terrifying. Moreover, the Silver Lightning race wasn't even a primordial royal race. Then, how terrifying were the sky prides of the primordial royal race? Above the primordial royal race was the primordial royal race. Could it be that the primordial races were so much stronger than humans? At that moment, Many people's faces were filled with despair. "You bunch of ants, you were our slaves before. However, we were in a deep sleep, which gave you humans a chance. Now that we have awakened, we will rule the world, and all of you will become our slaves again." Chapter 2789. After defeating Emotiani, the voice of the Silver Lightning Race's prodigy sounded again, full of mockery and arrogance. Hearing this, the surrounding cultivators trembled and clenched their fists. Many of the older generation experts were also gnashing their teeth. However, without exception, none of them dared to make a move. They had no choice. The other party's identity was too terrifying, and there were countless powerful races behind him. If they made a move, they would be declaring war on the 10,000 ancient races. Therefore, they could only gnash their teeth and stare at the other party. "You ants, hurry up and inform Lin Xian to come here and die." With that, the 3 Silver Lightning Race's prodigies walked toward the palace. The news spread like a hurricane. When everyone learned that the Silver Lightning Race's prodigies were so terrifying, they all sucked in a breath of cold air. At the same time, they were all looking forward to Lin Xian making a move. They really hoped that God Lin Xian would make a move. It would be best if he could kill these ancient creatures in one move. Yes, the other prodigies didn't dare to make a move at all. Perhaps only God Lin Xian would dare to make a move. Yes, the Yi family and the Gu family were all silent. Only the Central Emperor Lin Xian wouldn't be afraid of these 10,000 ancient races. Cries of surprise resounded in the true spirit world. Lin Xian naturally received the news as well. He frowned. 3 Silver Lightning Race's prodigies were waiting for him in the Divine Wind Imperial capital. They wanted to fight him? Where did this group of people get their confidence from? They even dared to fight him? He asked in a deep voice. It couldn't be an ambush, right? He wanted to see if there were any Silver Lightning Race's prodigies lying in ambush there. Lin Xian suspected that this was a trap for him. But very soon the news spread. Reporting to the palace master, there was no ambush. Only the 3 Silver Lightning Race's prodigies had arrived. At that time, it caused quite a commotion in the imperial capital. The Immortal Palace's cultivator quickly told Lin Xian what had happened that day in the imperial capital. After Lin Xian heard this, he frowned. So powerful? They didn't even put the Divine Wind Imperial capital in their eyes? These people from the Silver Lightning clan were truly courting death. However, when he heard that the Divine Wind dynasty did not do anything to the people from the Silver Lightning clan, he started to frown. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes when he found out that the other party had easily defeated a saint prodigy. Currently, the strength of an ordinary saint was equivalent to a late-stage 8-star. If they were a little more powerful, they would be equivalent to an 8-star pinnacle. As for the top holy sons, they had the battle prowess of an early-stage 9-star. They were equivalent to ordinary invincible kings. For example, Lin Xian had been able to kill early-stage 9-star invincible kings. Now, after being nourished by the dragon energy in the nest of 10,000 dragons, Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body and great dragon sword spirit have improved once again. Therefore, he was now equivalent to a mid-9-star invincible king tier. Of course, there were very few people who could reach his level. It could be said that there were very few among the younger generation of the human race. He wondered what level of strength these Silver Lightning clan members had reached. No matter what level they reached, Lin Xian was very confident in his trump cards. He didn't think that these people from the Silver Lightning clan could defeat him. Since they were courting death, he would fulfill their wish. Lin Xian stood up and prepared to head to the imperial capital of the Divine Wind dynasty. The Crimson Dragon followed and went together. Of course, there was also a guardian in the dark, Xiao Wu. Ruzalong activated the teleportation platform and directly teleported. Lin Xian didn't want to waste time. The Crimson Dragon set up a teleportation platform and tore through the void. The 2 of them disappeared. When they reappeared, they were in a mountain range. The Crimson Dragon looked around, then pointed ahead and said, "In another 20 to 30,000 miles, they should be able to reach the imperial capital of the Divine Wind Dynasty. Let's go." Lin Xian waved his hand, and the two of them quickly flew forward. In the Divine Wind Dynasty, more and more cultivators gathered here. The reason for that was because they knew that a world-shaking battle was about to take place here. Many powerhouses and geniuses of the Holy Lands and sects also rushed over, ready to watch the battle. In fact, the crowd even discovered that there were several ancient eras organisms roaming around. Damn it, there are ancient life forms of other races here. This scene caused them to be extremely shocked. Of course, these archaic creatures were also invited away by the elders of the Divine Wind Dynasty. They didn't know which race these archaic creatures were from. They were also so powerful. They felt that they were not weaker than the Silver Lightning Clan. Let's not talk about them. Why hadn't Lin Xian of the Central Emperor come yet? Who knew? He probably hadn't received the news yet. Or perhaps he was on his way here. Of course, among them, the people of the Tuoba clan, the Yin-Yang sect, and the Five Elements Palace sneered. "Humph, I'm afraid he doesn't dare to come." Don't use your useless thoughts to judge Lin Xian. Lin Xian's supporters sneered and retorted. That's right, Lin Xian was the Central Emperor, and he had just beaten away the powerhouses of the Silver Lightning Clan. Why wouldn't they dare? If there was anyone who didn't dare to say anything, it should be them. The dignified saint didn't even dare to fart in the face of these archaic creatures. Sneers and mockery sounded one after another, and the geniuses of the Holy Lands and sects gritted their teeth. They were so angry that they almost vomited blood. Buzz! The arrogant voice of the Silver Lightning Clan came from the palace again. "That Lin Xian, is he here yet? If he is, tell him to get over here. I can kill him with one slap." The voice was like thunder, turning into an endless sea of thunder in the sky, forming thunderclouds that floated in the sky. These people were so suppressed that they couldn't breathe. It was too terrifying. They were in the palace, but they caused such a terrifying impact in the outside world. These three geniuses of the Silver Lightning Clan were really terrifying. Seeing this scene, the people of the Yin-Yang sect, the Five Elements Palace, and the Tuoba family laughed. They felt that these three powerhouses of the Silver Lightning Clan might really be able to kill Lin Xian. Half a day later, there was a sudden commotion at the gate of the imperial capital, and screams of surprise could be heard. Lin Xian was here. What? Central Emperor Lin Xian was here? The cultivators in the city also received the news and moved out one after another. In an instant, the streets, the sky, and all kinds of restaurants and shops were crowded with people. There were people. These people were not ordinary people. They were either elders or peerless geniuses. Every single one of his identities was shocking to the public. But now they were all waiting for one person. They were all waiting for Lin Xian. Lin Xian strolled leisurely with the Crimson Dragon beside him. Wherever the two of them passed, the crowd parted like a tide. No one dared to stop them. So powerful. Why do I feel that his aura has become stronger again? That's right. Could it be that his strength has increased again? He's really a monster. Everyone looked at Lin Xian and exclaimed, "Is this the dragon beside Lin Xian? Is it really a dragon?" It's absolutely true. I saw it with my own eyes in the nest of 10,000 dragons. Everyone looked at the Crimson Dragon again and exclaimed. Chapter 2790. The Crimson Dragon bared its teeth and glared at the people around it, scaring them so much that they didn't dare to speak. When it came to the front, the Crimson Dragon shouted at the top of its voice, "Where are the 3 silver electric race guys? Tell them to get over here." Ben Huang roasted them into skewers and ate them. He was too angry. Someone actually dared to shout at them. They really didn't know what was good for them. "Snake, you're courting death." An angry voice came from the palace. In the sky, the huge thundercloud trembled and erupted with endless lightning. It surged down, wanting to kill the Crimson Dragon. You want to hurt Ben Huang with this little bit of lightning? Ben Huang will spit on your face. He opened his dragon mouth, and endless seawater surged out, surging in the sky and colliding with the lightning that filled the sky. The seawater completely annihilated the lightning and even scattered the thundercloud in the sky. So powerful! Seeing the Crimson Dragon break the attack of the Silver Electric Race with a casual attack, the surrounding warriors also screamed. Humph! In the distance, 3 figures instantly arrived nearby like lightning. Their faces were gloomy as they stared at the Crimson Dragon. It was indeed a dragon. The intelligence was right. Damn it, this kid actually had a dragon by his side. He shouldn't be from the nest of 10,000 dragons, so we don't have to worry about him. The 3 of them quickly communicated. If he was really from the nest of 10,000 dragons, they would probably have knelt down by now. But unfortunately, the Crimson Dragon wasn't a dragon from the nest of 10,000 dragons. The 3 Silver Electric Race powerhouses snorted coldly and ignored the Crimson Dragon. Instead, they stared at Lin Xian. Kid, you're finally here. The 3 of them formed a triangle and surrounded Lin Xian. Their bodies emitted a biting cold, killing intent, forming a unique domain that enveloped heaven and earth. The 3 of you want to challenge me? And you even said that you want to kill me with a slap? Lin Xian looked at the 3 of them and stood with his hands behind his back. He looked calm. That's right, it's us. Kid, you actually dared to injure the emissary of the Silver Electric Race and challenge the authority of the Silver Electric Race. You really want to die. Don't you know that you used to be our slave? Lin Xian smiled. You said it yourself, that was in the past. How many tens of thousands of years have passed? The strength of the human race is far beyond your imagination. I'll give you a chance to apologize and get lost. I'll spare your lives. Otherwise, what will happen to you? His voice was laced with a biting cold threat. Hearing this, the 3 powerhouses of the Silver Electric Race were enraged. Incomparably resplendent lightning exploded from their bodies, piercing through the surroundings. The surrounding warriors quickly retreated. The elders of the royal family even activated the array formation. Flickering runes appeared on the streets and on the buildings. Seeing the royal capital activate the formation, the surrounding cultivators heaved a sigh of relief. To the end, it's useless to say more. Let me see what kind of ability you have to dare to kill me with a single slap. Of the assessed. There's no need for the 3 of us to deal with you. I alone am enough. One of them stepped forward. It was him who had defeated Mo Tianyi with a single punch. Kid, remember me. My name is Yin Feng. The powerhouse of the Silver Electric Race stepped forward. His expression was arrogant. One slap is enough to kill you. Offending us is the biggest mistake you've made in your life. Your aura is not bad and your eyes are cold. Unfortunately, you don't have the right to be arrogant in front of me. Lin Xian shook his head and sighed. Why are there always people who don't know what's good for them and want to challenge me? You're courting death. Yin Feng's expression was solemn. His eyes shone with a cold light. He raised his palm. An endless sea of lightning spread out from his hand, forming a large silver palm that shone brightly in the sky. Feeling this palm, the peerless powerhouses all trembled. Even the invincible kings felt their scalps go numb. So powerful. Yin Feng definitely had the strength of an invincible king. No wonder he could defeat Mo Tianyi with a single punch. Everyone exclaimed. Boom! In the sky, the large silver palm with mysterious runes fell from the sky and enveloped Lin Xian, wanting to smash him into pieces. Lin Xian stood there with his hands behind his back, a confident smile on his face. He didn't move at all. He waited until the palm was right above his head before he raised his hand. His hand turned into a fist and charged forward. Boom! The two collided. There was a deafening sound. Hundreds of thousands of lightning bolts fell from the sky. The entire imperial capital shone with arrays and runes, forming a super defense. The terrifying energy bombarded, creating a sound like a stormy sea. Endless energy waves rushed into the clouds and tore the sky apart. It was too terrifying, the surrounding cultivators exclaimed. The commotion caused by the two's attack was too terrifying. If there weren't any arrays, this attack could probably destroy half of the imperial capital. And these people wouldn't be able to escape. What terrifying lightning! Even invincible kings didn't dare to touch it. The silver runes on the palm must be the bloodline power of the silver electric race. It was too terrifying. These ancient life forms had a unique advantage. Exclamations could be heard. Beside him, the other two silver electric race experts sneered. How dare he fight with Yin Feng? He must be courting death. This time his arm would probably be crippled. Not only that, but half of his body would be smashed. The two of them were very confident. The sea of lightning that filled the sky slowly disappeared. When everyone saw the situation in the sea of lightning, they were all stunned. Their minds went blank, and their eyes widened in disbelief. Especially the other two geniuses of the Silver Palace race who screamed, "Impossible! Crazy!" They were all crazy, because they saw Lin Xian standing there with his hands behind his back, his body emitting a golden light. Their companion, Yin Feng, was in a sorry state. The lightning on his body dimmed, and his entire arm was deformed. His palm was cracked. Fresh blood stained his body. He was injured. Yin Feng was injured. Damn it, that's impossible. I don't believe it. Yin Feng's physique was so strong, and he even used his bloodline power. This attack could at least seriously injure him. If he was lucky, he could even kill Yin Feng. But now Yin Feng was injured, and his opponent was unharmed. The two Silver Lightning Clan experts had gone mad. They could not accept this fact. The surrounding warriors also sucked in a breath of cold air. That silver palm made even the invincible kings tremble, but he could easily block it and even seriously injure his opponent. Ha ha ha! The nine-yang divine body was indeed powerful. That's right. Lin Xian was mighty. What silver electric race? How dare they fight me, Lin Xian, in close combat? You're courting death. Do you know what the nine-yang divine body is? Lin Xian's supporters mocked and ridiculed. The Crimson Dragon also sneered. In the 10,000 ancient races, apart from those monstrous geniuses with exceptionally strong physiques, there were probably not many who dared to compete with Lin Xian in terms of physique. After being nourished by the dragon's aura in the nest of 10,000 dragons, Lin Xian's nine-yang divine body had reached the 5th stage of the 2nd level. It was truly terrifying. Chapter 2791. Lin Xian retracted his palm and sneered. Is this what you meant when you said you wanted to kill me with a single slap? Unfortunately, you haven't eaten for tens of thousands of years. Your strength is pitifully weak. Why don't I teach you what it means to kill someone with a single slap? At this point, Lin Xian's eyes shone with a piercing light. The nine-yang divine body emitted endless light, and balls of nine-yang divine fire surged out, illuminating the world. As his voice fell, he also raised his palm and slapped forward. His palm transformed into a huge golden millstone that could destroy everything. Not good. Yin Feng's pupils shrank, and the surrounding people exclaimed. The other two prodigies of the Silver Lightning race were shocked. This palm was too terrifying. The two of them turned into a gust of wind and rushed forward. They came in front of Yin Feng and fought against him. There was an earth-shattering bang. The 3 Silver Lightning tribe elites were knocked back, their blood and qi churning. Yin Feng was even more affected by the impact of the energy, and he spat out blood again. Lin Xian looked at them and sneered. Why, can't bear it anymore? Finally, the 3 of you want to attack together? Come on, don't waste my time. Lin Xian waved his hand, looking impatient. This scene made the 3 silver lightning race elites gnash their teeth in anger. When had they ever been looked down upon like this? The surrounding Lin Xian's supporters also went crazy with mockery. Hey, what 10,000 ancient races? 3 against 1? Do you have any shame? That's right. You were so arrogant before, saying that you could kill our god Lin Xian with a single slap. Why don't you try it now? Give them a chance. Even if the 3 of them fight against 1, they won't be a match for Lin Xian. These people sneered. The 3 silver lightning race elites were so angry that they almost vomited blood. Yin Feng gritted his teeth. You too don't do anything. Let me fight him myself. I must kill him. Yin Feng's eyes were filled with killing intent. The power of thunder and lightning emerged from his body, and his broken arms started to heal. All right, then be careful. This brat seems to have learned an ancient body refining technique, the 9-yang divine body. Don't fight him head-on. They had also heard of the might of the 9-yang divine body. After all, it was a divine ability that had been passed down for a long time. Don't worry, I got it. Yin Feng nodded. He was indeed careless. He didn't expect that the other party had actually cultivated the unparalleled 9-yang divine physique. It really surprised him. But so what? Apart from close combat, he had plenty of divine abilities. Buzz, lightning surged on his body as he opened his mouth and spat out a silver knife. The moment the silver knife appeared, it emitted a biting cold blade light that illuminated the 9 heavens and 10 earths, causing everyone's bodies to tremble, as if they would be cut in half at any moment. What a terrifying saber light! This was a treasure. Those older generation figures also exclaimed. There was no need to even think about it. These ancient life forms were definitely taking out ancient treasures. It contained a mysterious power that was impossible to guard against. This wasn't the end. After that, a ray of light rushed out from Yin Feng's forehead and turned into a silver mountain that floated above his head. The silver mountain was incomparably majestic and emitted a terrifying aura. Thousands of rays of light hung down and enveloped Yin Feng. Boom! 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 This silver mountain was too terrifying. The moment it appeared, the surrounding void quickly collapsed, and countless large cracks spread out in all directions. The surrounding experts and prodigies were also pressured to the point that they couldn't breathe. How terrifying! This Yin Feng actually took out 2 ancient treasures in an instant. Lin Xian was probably in danger. Go to hell, brat. Yin Feng snorted coldly and waved his hand. Instantly, the silver knife flew out. Although it was small in size, it was extremely sharp and pierced through the void in an instant. How terrifying! It could already threaten a mid-stage 9-star invincible king. I wonder if Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body could withstand it? Lin Xian furrowed his brows when he sensed the silver flying dagger. It was indeed terrifying. It reminded him of Li Xuanxian's little Li-flying knife. However, compared to little Li-flying knife, it was still a little lacking. In the next moment, he would use his fist. Heaven-battling divine fist. Boom! 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 The golden fist shook the heavens and earth, and a sonorous sound rang out in the sky. The silver flying knife was sent flying, dancing wildly in the sky. However, it soon circled again under the control of Yin Feng and charged over. Brat, you're dead. You can't block my flying knife. The silver flying knife in the sky suddenly enlarged and turned into a huge knife that slashed down. Its sharpness also became stronger and stronger. Not good. I didn't use my full strength before. This silver flying knife's power is probably above our imagination. The expressions on the faces of the older generation changed. Even Lin Xian's supporters gasped in shock. Lin Xian, be careful! Lin Xian also frowned. Indeed, its power was much stronger than before. Humph! With a cold snort, endless sword qi rushed out of his body. It was densely packed, like a rain of swords. In the next moment, it collided with the terrifying silver long knife. A sonorous sound rang out, and the silver long knife was sent flying again. What? Impossible! It was sent flying. The two silver lightning experts were stunned. Yin Feng's expression froze. He couldn't believe it. In the next moment, he wanted to roar, but soon he began to tremble. Because Lin Xian waved his arm, the sword chi between heaven and earth flew toward him. It collided with the silver mountain, making a sonorous sound. Damn it, block it for me. Don't worry, he can't break through Yin Feng's defense. Behind him, the two silver lightning experts sneered. But soon, their smiles became firm. Because in their eyes, the silver mountain that they were so confident in was pierced by tens of thousands of swords, and large holes appeared one after another. It's just a Dharma treasure, and you dare to be arrogant in front of me. Lin Xian burst out with a biting cold light. He had already arrived in front of Yin Feng. He held a sword chi in his hand and slashed down from the sky. With a slash of the sword, he split the silver mountain in half. What? How is this possible? Not only did the humans scream, but the other immemorial creatures also came out of the palace. They just happened to see this scene, and their scalps went numb with fear. They knew that the silver lightning race was powerful, especially Yin Feng, who was even more terrifying. But his Dharma treasure was actually split in half by a single slash of the sword. Who exactly was this human youth? Their gazes were all fixed on Lin Xian. Uft! Yin Feng vomited large mouthfuls of blood. At this moment he was at a loss. Impossible, damn it, I don't believe it. Uft! Ah! The sword light slashed down, and his arm was directly sent flying, blood flowing wildly. The pain brought him back to reality. Damn it! He realized that there were more than a dozen piercing sword lights coming down from above. He was scared out of his wits, and he quickly dodged. But how could he dodge? Soon his body was cut into pieces. Ah! Yin Feng screamed, and his body reassembled in the distance. His face was pale, and his face was ferocious. I want you to die. Silver runes appeared on his body, one after another. Obviously, he was going to activate his bloodline power with all his might. Chapter 2792. The silver saber also flew into his hand. You want me to die? I'm afraid you don't have that ability. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and the sword chi on his body became more and more piercing. He struck out with the ancient dragon abyss sword, which was surrounded by countless dragon-shaped auras. With a slash of the sword, the silver saber was once again sent flying. Yin Feng was even split into two halves. This scene caused everyone to be stupefied, especially those archaic creatures. Their faces were filled with shock. This person was too powerful. Who exactly was he? A terrifying physique, a terrifying sword technique. Damn it! How could he have such a powerful attack? These people exclaimed in shock. At this moment, Yin Feng screamed in the sky. His two halves turned into streams of light and kept fleeing. Damn it, you dare to kill me? He realized that Lin Xian did not stop at all. The piercing cold sword light once again enveloped him. So what if I kill you? Lin Xian's voice was cold. I'm a genius of the Silver Lightning Tribe. If you kill me, the Silver Lightning Tribe will not let you off. Yin Feng screamed. He could not believe that a human dared to kill him. The other two geniuses of the Silver Lightning Tribe also shouted angrily. Damned brat, stop it now. You're dead. If you dare to kill him, the Silver Lightning Tribe will tear you into pieces. The two of them rushed forward, wanting to save Yin Feng. Lin Xian stretched out his left hand, which turned into a golden mountain that descended from the sky, directly blocking the path of the two geniuses of the Silver Lightning Tribe. At the same time, the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand quickly slashed out. The sword pierced through the other party's head. The power of the great dragon sword soul destroyed the other party's soul. Ah! With a scream, the two halves of the corpse fell to the ground, no longer breathing. This scene caused everyone to be stupefied. The entire scene was silent. Those archaic creatures were also shocked and could not believe it. No, the two Silver Lightning Tribe elites roared crazily. Dead. Their comrade was actually dead. He was killed by a human. This was something they did not dare to imagine. One had to know that they were geniuses of the Silver Lightning Tribe from the 10,000 archaic races. When they first came, even the Divine Wind Dynasty did not dare to provoke them and respectfully invited them in. In their eyes, no one in the world dared to kill them. But now, this kid in front of them had no scruples and directly killed their companion. How dare they? Was he not afraid of the Silver Lightning Clan's revenge? Madman, this kid is a madman. The two geniuses of the Silver Lightning race roared madly. Kill him together and avenge Yin Feng. The two of them roared angrily, releasing terrifying attacks that shook the golden palm. The golden palm released rumbling sounds as it was pushed aside. The two of them charged over. But soon they were scared out of their wits. The sword slashed out like the roar of a peerless giant dragon, enveloping them. Damn it, it was only now that they realized how powerful his sword chi was. No wonder Yin Feng was killed. It was too terrifying. It was hard to imagine that a young man could unleash such a shocking sword aura. Damn it, what kind of swordsmanship is he practicing? The two of them didn't know. However, they didn't have much time to think. One of them opened his mouth and spat out a silver shield in front of him. The other person turned into a bolt of lightning and quickly dodged. Clank, puff. Ah, the silver shield was split in half by the sword. A huge crack appeared on the body of the Silver Lightning Clan's prodigy, and his internal organs were exposed. The other figure also screamed. His legs were cut off by the sword light, and blood gushed out. All the martial artists in the royal capital who were watching the battle were stunned. He injured two prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan with a single sword strike? Powerful, he was too powerful. Could it be that Lin Xian didn't use his full strength when he killed Yin Feng? Yes, that must be it. Lin Xian was too mighty. As expected of the Central Emperor, he was indeed the top prodigy of the human race. The faces of the older generation were also filled with astonishment. Damn it, who is this kid? They had to find out his identity. The Archean creatures' faces were gloomy. The other party was too powerful and posed a great threat to them. They had to find out who the other party was, what kind of swordsmanship he used, and what his background was. Should they save the two prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan? One of the Archean creatures asked in a deep voice. This primordial creature had strange patterns on its body that crawled all over its body, especially the two sides of his cheeks. They were furry. It was very strange, and it made people who saw it feel their hair stand on end. The young man in front of him was the same, but his aura was stronger than his. The young man shook his head. Don't panic. Let's wait and see. The two prodigies should be able to hold on for a while. If we save them at the most critical moment, the Silver Lightning Clan will do us a favor. Yes, the Archean creatures behind nodded. Their eyes shone with a shocking light, and they were ready to save them at any time. They thought that the two prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan could hold on for a while, but they realized that they were wrong. The two prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan were defeated. They had no choice. Firstly, Lin Xian was too powerful. Secondly, they were so shocked that their minds were still blank. Thus, they were soon seriously injured. In fact, their bodies had already been reassembled 5 times. This made their faces pale, and the power in their bodies was quickly draining away. Oh no, let's go. The two of them screamed. They were too careless. They had to go back and report to the other prodigies of the clan so that they could kill the detestable kid in front of them. You want to leave? Lin Xian used the Yin Yang 8 steps. His speed was extremely fast, and he directly blocked the path of the two prodigies. Damn it, let's split up and run. The two prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan roared and ran in the opposite direction. No matter how fast the other party was, they didn't believe that he could stop the two of them. However, they were still thinking too much. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the dragon's sword domain flew out and turned into a sword dragon. It surged in the sky and directly enveloped one of the prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan. He, on the other hand, was blocking the path of another genius. What last words do you have? Lin Xian looked at the other party and said coldly, "Damn kid, how dare you kill me? My Silver Lightning Clan." Before he could finish, blood spurted out from between his eyebrows and his body was split in half. His soul was destroyed by the sword. This scene shocked everyone. The expressions of the other arcane creatures also changed drastically. It was too fast and too decisive. The other party killed them with a single sword strike. They didn't even have a chance to attack. "Hurry up and save the last one," the young Archean creature said. Immediately, the two figures behind him rushed out, wanting to save the last prodigy of the Silver Lightning Clan. This was originally their plan. If they could do the Silver Lightning Clan a favor, why not? However, they didn't expect Lin Xian's sword chi to be so fierce. They had lost a chance, so they definitely couldn't miss the last chance. Chapter 2793. Save Me. The last Silver Lightning Clan genius was shrouded by the dragon sword domain. He was also retreating in defeat as countless sword chi pierced through his body. There was no other way. These sword chi contained the power of the dragon sword soul. How could he resist it? But fortunately, he saw the other two ancient creatures coming to save him. He was very clear about these two ancient creatures. They were from the ancient demon spider clan. Their strength was very terrifying, not weaker than the Silver Lightning Clan. In fact, they were a little stronger. Therefore, with the help of the other party, he would definitely be saved. Sure enough, the two ancient creatures opened their mouths and spat out white spider webs, covering the sky and the earth, enveloping the dragon's sword domain, trying to bind it. Oh no, it's the ancient demon spider clan. On the human side, some of the older generation figures also screamed. The ancient demon spider clan was very terrifying. It was rumored that they had the bloodline of the heavenly demon spider. It was rumored that their spider webs were very hard, and even the top magic treasures and heaven-grade weapons could not cut them. If bound by this magic treasure, even an invincible king would not be able to escape. What so terrifying? Damn it, is the ancient demon spider clan also going to make a move? Won't Lin Xian be in danger? Many people began to worry about Lin Xian. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly, and the dragon's sword domain in the distance suddenly erupted. It shattered the white spider king spat out by the ancient demon spider above. Then he burst out an unparalleled sword chi and pierced through the body of the last Silver Lightning Clan genius. His body was torn to pieces, and his soul was mercilessly destroyed. No, the Silver Lightning race's prodigy let out a blood-curdling scream and vanished into thin air. The two experts of the Archean demon spider clan who had rushed over were also stunned. Their faces were gloomy and terrifying. Dead, the last Silver Lightning Clan member is dead. This made their rescue plan completely fail. Damn brat! How dare you kill him? Their eyes were like lightning, staring at Lin Xian. In an instant, the void around Lin Xian shattered, and two rays of light pierced toward him like divine arrows. They wanted to pierce through him. Lin Xian's long sword swept horizontally, directly sending the two gazes flying. In the next moment, the dragon's sword's spiritual domain enlarged in the sky, floating above the heads of the two ancient demon spiders. What do you want to die to? Lin Xian looked at the other party. He did not have a good impression of these ancient creatures. The other party was too arrogant and insolent. How could Lin Xian be willing to accept the fact that they were all treated as slaves? He was no longer in the primordial era. These primordial life forms did not have the capital to be arrogant in front of him. You dare to attack us? You're courting death. The two ancient demon spiders were enraged. The one on the left stretched out a palm with a terrifying pattern on it and grabbed down from the sky. On his right, he pointed his finger at Lin Xian's glabella. It was as if his entire body was a sword. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Lin Xian's expression was ice cold. The ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand emitted a blinding light as he slashed forward. Boom! Boom! The ancient sword waved, and the dragon-shaped sword chi danced. The entire void was completely torn apart. In the next moment, the three people's attacks collided in the sky. An extremely resplendent light burst forth as waves of energy surged in all directions. Boom! The terrifying energy was vast and mighty. A strange rune appeared on Lin Xian's body, and there was no need to dodge at all. The energy only made a thunderous sound on his body and could not hurt him. However, the other two experts of the ancient demon spider clan kept retreating. They retreated more than 10 steps in a row before they stopped. Damn it! Their faces were full of shock. Their fists and fingers were directly cut off, and blood dripped down, piercing through the void. When the surrounding martial artists saw this scene, they exclaimed, "So powerful!" Lin Xian was too terrifying. The two ancient demon spiders attacked, but they were helpless and were injured instead. Even the other Archean life forms were shocked by this scene. Was this the strength of the Central Emperor? Damn it! When did the human race become so powerful? What had they experienced in the past 10,000 years? They gritted their teeth, and the leading young man also frowned. He may be one of the top geniuses of the human race. It was not surprising that he could injure them. Do we still have to attack? Many people asked in a low voice. The young man shook his head. No, let him live for a while. We have other things to do. With that, he waved his hand, and the two ancient demon spiders in front flew back. The young man who led the ancient demon spiders glanced at Lin Xian, and then rushed into the sky with his people. The group quickly rushed into the sky, ignoring the array, and directly tore through the void and left. The ancient creatures had left. Everyone looked at this scene, shocked and in disbelief. Lin Xian's supporters burst into cheers. Lin Xian was too powerful. That's right, it had always been the ancient creatures that scared others away. Now, our Lin Xian could scare away the ancient creatures. These people were pleasantly surprised. Lin Xian's eyes were also shining. The ancient demon spiders. He felt that the young man who did not attack was very powerful. He should be a genius of that race. Thinking of this, Lin Xian shook his head and prepared to go back. But at this time, the elder of the Divine Wind dynasty appeared again. He said with a smile, "Temple Master Lin, take care." "Oh, what's the matter?" Lin Xian asked with a frown. "Our holy lord invited Temple Master Lin to the palace for tea." "Okay." Lin Xian nodded. Since he was already in the imperial capital, it was not a big deal to take a stroll. Lin Xian took the crimson dragon, and the two followed the imperial family elder and flew toward the palace. The others were envious. Sure enough, the strong were respected in this world. Whether it was the ancient creatures or Lin Xian, they were all respected by the imperial family elders. It should be known that these elders would not even care about an invincible king. But their attitude toward Lin Xian was so respectful. On the other side, the ancient demon spiders flew into the sky and left the ancient capital of the Divine Wind dynasty. That spirit herb is about to mature. We have to hurry. We can't let others take it. The young man in the lead said in a deep voice. The ancient creatures beside him were also excited. This was an extremely precious spirit herb that was 8,000 years old. It had a miraculous effect on the ancient demon spiders, so they were determined to get it. There was someone in front. After a while, they suddenly felt an extremely strong energy fluctuation in front of them. Who was it? Could it be an expert from the human clan? The ancient creatures were shocked. However, the young man in the lead said, "No, it's similar to our aura. It's an ancient creature. It's an expert of the silver electric race." An expert of the silver electric race? These ancient creatures were also very surprised. The young man in the lead sneered. There was a good show to watch. These silver electric race experts who spread the news in the imperial capital. He reckoned that these people would definitely go crazy. When the time came, they would attack and kill that human brat. Chapter 2794. That's great. Who told this brat to be so arrogant? How dare he fight against our ancient demon spider clan? The archaic creatures were also very excited. Let's go. They quickly moved out. Soon they arrived in front. A sea of lightning spread out in front of them, forming a thundercloud. There were a few figures on the thundercloud. One of the graceful figures was half lying on the thundercloud. Around her, there were many ancient creatures serving her. Don't look at how young this girl was. Her identity was frighteningly great. Even these immemorial demon spiders were extremely respectful towards her. The young man who took the lead shouted respectfully, "Greetings, Sister Inhua." "Oh, it's you, little guy." The graceful figure on the thundercloud cast a sideways glance at the young man from the primordial ancient demon spider clan and nodded. "Why did you bring your men here?" "I just woke up, so I brought people out to play. After all, it was too boring to sleep for so many years. However, big sister Inhua, I have a piece of bad news here." "Bad news? What bad news?" The graceful figure frowned. "Who in the world dares to go against our 10,000 ancient races?" The mysterious woman was very confident. In her opinion, no one dared to provoke them. However, the young man from the ancient demonic spider shook his head, and his face became serious. "Sister Hua, I have to tell you. Sister Inhua, I just found out from the imperial capital that 3 geniuses from the Silver Electric clan were killed in the Divine Wind imperial capital." "What?" Hearing this, the mysterious woman was stunned. Ancient creatures were killed, and they were the geniuses of the Silver Electric clan. How could this be? Is the news confirmed? The mysterious woman asked in a deep voice. The young man from the ancient demon spider clan nodded. "It's true. We saw it with our own eyes, and we even helped them. But the enemy was too decisive. She killed the 3 geniuses of the Silver Electric clan and even injured our people. Sister, please look." As he spoke, he pointed to the 2 ancient creatures behind him. These 2 were the ones who fought with Lin Xian before. Their palms were cut off by Lin Xian, and they had not healed yet because the remnant aura of the great dragon sword soul was difficult to erase. Damn it! The mysterious woman was finally angry. It seemed that the news was true. "Who was it? Tell me who did it. How dare you kill a prodigy of the Silver Lightning clan? Was it one of those saint lords, or the emperor of the Divine Wind dynasty?" In his opinion, only these people would dare to make a move against them. No, it wasn't those sacred leaders and sect masters. It was a young man. Young people? Who was it? Among the younger generation, was there anyone who could stop the 3 prodigies of the Silver Lightning clan? The mysterious woman couldn't believe it. The young man from the ancient demon spider clan said, "Elder sister, do you remember that some time ago the emissary of the Silver Electric clan was beaten up?" Hearing this, the expressions of the ancient life forms on the thunderclouds turned ugly. The mysterious woman, called Yin Hua, furrowed her brows. "I naturally knew that it was done by Immortal Palace's palace master. Humph! My Silver Lightning tribe will naturally not let him off." It was good that his elder sister knew about him. This time, it was precisely that Immortal Palace's hall master who took the initiative. It was he who had come to the imperial capital and personally killed his 3 brothers from the Silver Lightning clan. What? It was that Immortal Palace's palace master again. Silverflower was thoroughly enraged, and the ancient life forms serving her were also brimming with killing intent. Master, let me go and kill him. These ancient life forms were not from the Silver Lightning clan, but the mysterious woman in front of them. She used her powerful strength to subdue other races to serve her. This kind of subjugation was very common among the 10,000 ancient races. Because these 10,000 ancient races worshipped power, it was very common for them to be subdued. At this moment, these ancient life form servants were very angry. Yin Hua's face was gloomy. No need. This time I will personally kill him. He was thoroughly enraged. So what if the other party was Immortal Palace's palace master? No matter how powerful he was just a human. In front of the 10,000 ancient races, he could only kneel. He actually dared to resist? Where was he? He should still be in the imperial capital. Even if he left, he couldn't have gone too far. Let's go. With a roar, the thunderclouds in the sky turned into a thunder dragon. With a roar, it drilled into the clouds and disappeared. Only balls of lightning were left, still rolling in all directions. Looking at the disappearing figure, the young man from the ancient demon spider clan curled his lips into a smile. The next moment, he also waved his hand. Let's go. These people also left. Yin Hua's speed was very fast. Not long after, she saw a majestic city below. Immediately she frowned. It seemed that this should be the imperial capital of the Divine Wind Dynasty. Master, do you want us to directly go down and capture that kid and kill him? There's no need. Yin Hua shook her head. That kid dared to attack us, which means he has something to rely on. Let's see how many invincible kings he has with him first before we make a move. First, seal the surroundings. Behind him, 7 or 8 ancient life forms swayed and came to the 4 corners of the world. Yin Hua went to the 9 heavens and looked down with her cold eyes. She would not enter the imperial capital. She had to wait until she met him outside. As soon as he came out, she would mercilessly kill him. In this way, she could guarantee that no one and no formation would stop her. In the Divine Wind Dynasty's imperial capital, Lin Xian and the Divine Wind Dynasty's sacred master drank tea and chatted for a while. Then Lin Xian came out. After leaving the palace, he and the Crimson Dragon's figures swayed and also disappeared from the street. Soon, they left the imperial capital and soared into the sky. Master, that kid has come out. In the south, an ancient life form quickly transmitted his voice. Immediately, Yin Hua opened her eyes in the 9 heavens. Buzz! A jade-like hand reached out and grabbed downward. An overwhelming amount of lightning descended, each as thick as a bucket. They were densely packed and covered the entire space. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. Damn, someone is plotting against us. Below, the Crimson Dragon screamed. Lin Xian also frowned. What's going on? They had just come out, and they had already encountered such terrifying lightning. This must be a plot. Who is it? Damn it, it's those people from the Silver Lightning race. The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth. These lightning bolts belonged to the Silver Lightning race. He was very sensitive to these lightning bolts. Lin Xian also snorted coldly. Kill! With a furious roar, an unparalleled light erupted from his body as he charged toward the lightning bolts. The Crimson Dragon followed behind him and also waved its dragon claws. Lin Xian's body was abnormally strong. Even if he was hit by the lightning bolts, it only made clanging sounds. He went against the heavens like a peerless god of war and arrived at the 9 heavens. Who dares to ambush me here? Get out here. His voice was like thunder as it rolled out. The people in the imperial capital were shocked. What was going on? Was Lin Xian going to attack again? Were the powerhouses of the Silver Lightning race going to attack again? These people rushed out one after another. Could it be that there was going to be another shocking battle? Chapter 2795. Are you the one who killed the powerhouses of the Silver Lightning tribe? In the sky, a pair of cold eyes appeared, carrying the endless power of lightning. It made everyone tremble. Lin Xian also felt a wave of pressure. The great dragon sword soul in his body rotated and roared, instantly relieving the pressure. Golden runes flickered in his eyes as he faced the attack. That's right, it's me. Who are you? Are you from the Silver Lightning tribe? If you want revenge, come here and die. Good boy, you have guts. But you don't know what's good for you. As he spoke, heaven and earth rumbled, and endless lightning descended, enveloping Lin Xian. Then he tore open the void and disappeared. No, Lin Xian was teleported out. Many powerhouses exclaimed and quickly chased after him. They all rose into the air. However, the scene of Lin Xian and the mysterious man had already disappeared. Where did they go? They were probably millions of miles away. Should they go and take a look? Let's go and look for them. In the imperial city, many people began to search in all directions. On the other side, Lin Xian frowned. Who was the other party? That method was so terrifying. It seemed that she was not from the younger generation. After all, the younger generation did not have such terrifying strength, and he would not feel so pressured. Be careful, boy. That's a treasure, the Crimson Dragon said from the side. The two of them had strong physiques, so even if they were struck by endless lightning, they could still withstand it. It seems that she has teleported us out. No, we can't let them succeed. What if it's a trap? Lin Xian said. Ruse along. Think of a way to destroy it. Don't worry, the Crimson Dragon said. He waved his dragon claws and began to break the array. Although the other party used a magic treasure, it was still a kind of array. He was very proficient in the art of blooming, and with Lin Xian's help, it did not take long for the two of them to break through the sea of lightning and rush out. Damn it, they're finally out. How dare they plot against Ben Huang? I want to see who it is. As soon as the Crimson Dragon appeared, it roared in all directions. Lin Xian's body was surrounded by endless sword light. To be able to come out, he did have some ability. No wonder you were able to kill the prodigies of my Silver Lightning clan. In the sky, the cold voice sounded again. Hearing this sound, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon raised their heads and looked at the sky. They could see a mysterious woman standing above the 9 heavens with an icy expression, as if she were a queen staring down at them. Around them, there were 7 archaic life forms firmly surrounding them. The 7 archaic life forms all had different expressions on their faces. Clearly, he was not a member of the Silver Lightning clan. Could it be that these ancient creatures had joined forces? If that was the case, then things would be troublesome. No. The Crimson Dragon shook its head. They should be slaves. The Crimson Dragon knew a lot about these ancient creatures. Therefore, he explained. When Lin Xian heard this, he heaved a sigh of relief. As long as the 10,000 ancient races didn't join forces, there wouldn't be a problem. He could tell that the mysterious woman in the sky was very strong. Her strength had reached the late-stage 9-star king realm. Even among the invincible kings, she was a very terrifying existence. Kid, the two of us have joined forces. This guy is too strong. He's probably an old monster. The Crimson Dragon transmitted his voice to Lin Xian. He naturally felt how powerful the other party was. Lin Xian nodded, and the sword qi on his body became even colder. The dark red divine dragon let out a roar, displaying endless dragon might. Above, Silver Flower frowned. You're that dragon? The dignified dragon race is actually associated with ant-like humans. You're really embarrassing the divine beasts. However, since you're not a dragon from the nest of 10,000 dragons, don't blame me for being impolite. I heard that drinking dragon blood can make the 10,000 ancient races evolve. Today, I'm going to verify if this legend is true." She looked at the crimson dragon, and a cold light burst out from her eyes. "Bah! You want to compete with your Grandpa Long's blood? Do you want to die? In a while, Ben Huang will beat you up until you're looking for your teeth on the ground. You're courting death." Above, Silver Flower attacked. A silver light flickered in the sky, tearing the void apart. A terrifying silver lightning blade slashed towards Lin Xian and the crimson dragon. Wherever it passed, everything was cut in half. No power could resist it. Boom! Lin Xian and the crimson dragon resisted it head-on. The two of them also attacked. An intense collision, sound rang out. Then, the two of them retreated, shattering the void. What terrifying power! Lin Xian's qi and blood roiled, but he quickly suppressed it. As expected of a late-stage 9-star king, she was indeed terrifying. This power was so terrifying. On the other side, the crimson dragon was also grinning. It was obvious that the attack just now had given him a lot of pressure. "Kid, you're quite capable. You were actually able to block my attack and not be injured. But unfortunately, I only used 10,000 units of ancient power just now. It wasn't my full strength at all. In fact, I didn't even use half of my strength." In the sky, Silver Flower's voice was cold, and her eyes were filled with disdain. Her casual attack made the two of them retreat. If she attacked with her full strength, she could guarantee that she could easily kill the two of them. 10,000 units of ancient power? What was that? Lin Xian frowned. He didn't understand at all. The crimson dragon explained. This was a calculation method of the 10,000 ancient races. A 9-star king would have at least 9,000 units of ancient power. It wouldn't be weaker than this. As for these invincible kings, due to their different bloodlines and talents, there would be differences in strength as well. The 10,000 ancient races had developed a method to describe the strength of this kind of strength. They called it ancient power. It was said that the weakest 9-star king, Thailand, had 9,000 units of ancient power, while the strongest had 100,000 units of ancient power. However, reaching 100,000 units of ancient power was already the limit of a king, and no one seemed to be able to break this rule. Above that was the power of a saint. I didn't expect you to know so clearly, as expected of the dragon race, but it's a pity. So what if you know clearly? The cultivation of the two of you should only be peerless powerhouses, right? Two mere 8-star kings being able to compete with the invincible kings of Class 1 is already very heaven-defying. They can indeed become geniuses, but it's a pity that you met me. I won't give you a chance. To tell you the truth, my full strength is 30,000 units of ancient power. Do you think the two of you can compete with me? What, 30,000 units of ancient power? Hearing this, the crimson dragon was shocked. Kid, this seems to be an incredible guy. Lin Xian was also surprised. Although he had just come into contact with the rules of the 10,000 ancient races, from the crimson dragon's description, an ordinary 9-star invincible king had 9,000 units of ancient power, and the other party had 30,000 units of ancient power. The gap between them was simply too great. Rizalong, how much ancient power do you have? What about me? Lin Xian asked. He wanted to see how big the gap was between the two of them. Chapter 2796. If I unleash my full power, I have about 20,000 units of arcane power, and you have about the same amount. The crimson dragon said from the side. Of course, if your great dragon sword soul were to unleash its full power, it would definitely increase. Both of us have more than 20,000 units of arcane power, so we have more than 40,000 units of arcane power. We can definitely kill him." Lin Xian had a puzzled look on his face. Why was the other party so confident? The Crimson Dragon shook its head. It wasn't as simple as 1+1. Otherwise, a group of 8-star kings would be heaven-defying. One had to know that 10,000 units of Archean power was equivalent to a difference of 1 realm. It was very difficult to make up for it. Of course, this is only my estimate. Who knows how terrifying your great dragon sword soul would be if it were to unleash its full power. The Crimson Dragon transmitted its voice to Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded. He understood that the Archean power should be a guess of one's strength. However, it was only a guess. It wasn't 100% certain. For example, if his great dragon sword soul was injected with unlimited power, it could kill a saint. Thinking of this, a piercing cold light burst out from his eyes. You believe in this Archean power too much. Today, I'll let you see that the current world no longer belongs to you. The sword chi on Lin Xian's body became sharper and sharper. Ants, you're courting death. The surrounding 7 Archean creatures were also furious. Someone actually dared to speak to their master in such a manner. He was courting death. They quickly charged over. In an instant, the 3 of them arrived around Lin Xian. These 3 Archean creatures each had about 10,000 units of Archean power. Their attacks were truly terrifying. One of them turned into a black mountain and pressed down from the sky. Another one spat out terrifying flames that turned into fire crows that danced in the sky, emitting terrifying heat. The last cultivator drew out a pitch-black ancient saber and slashed forward, slicing the rift in half. Boom! Lin Xian made his move. First, he sent the Archean demonic mountain flying with a punch. Then, he slapped the jet-black sword in half with a palm. His entire body was bathed in a sea of fire, and he was fearless. He easily sent the 3 Archean creatures flying with 3 punches. The 3 archaic creatures continuously retreated, smashing through the void and splitting into pieces, turning into a bloody mist. What? He's actually so powerful. The remaining 4 Archean creatures were stunned. Those were 3 early-stage 9-star experts. Each of them possessed roughly 10,000 units of ancient power. Yet, even with the 3 of them working together, they were still killed so easily. This kid was too terrifying. Wasn't he just a young man? Had the human race become so terrifying? Their faces, they were stunned. In the air, Silverflower's voice was ice cold. The 4 of you retreat and don't attack. This brat should have about 20,000 units of ancient strength. Unless you guys work together and kill him in one strike. Is right. That's right. A difference of 1,000 units of Archean energy was already a terrifying gap, let alone 10,000 units of Archean energy. Therefore, even if the remaining 4 ancient creatures attacked, it would be useless. However, Yinhua was not worried, because she had 10,000 more Archean power than the other party. She could also easily crush the other party. Boom! Sure enough, in the next moment, Silverflower made her move. The thunderclouds in the sky pressed down and condensed above Lin Xian's head. The terrifying power of lightning filled the entire space. Countless spatial cracks spread out in all directions. Boom! Lin Xian also waved the Dragon Abyss ancient sword. An incomparably shocking light burst out from the long sword, cutting apart the lightning that filled the sky. However, there were too many lightning bolts this time. They were densely packed and endless. Even if they were cut apart, there were even more lightning pouring in from all directions. In an instant, Lin Xian was completely enveloped. Kid, be careful. The Crimson Dragon roared and spat out balls of flames to contend with the remaining lightning. The 2 of them attacked together, attacking the mysterious woman. It's useless. Even if the 2 of you join forces, you're not my match. Silverflower controlled the thunderclouds that filled the sky to contend with it. But soon her expression changed, because she discovered that in the sea of lightning below, a roar came. It was like the roar of a giant dragon, causing her expression to stiffen. Immediately after, the sea of lightning was cut open, and a figure holding a killing sword quickly rushed over. What? He actually rushed out. Silverflower was extremely surprised, and the other 4 Archean creatures screamed. They knew how terrifying their master was. No matter how strong this kid was, he couldn't contend with their master. But now, the other party actually charged out. It was really beyond their expectations. You want to trap me with a mere sea of lightning? Lin Xian snorted coldly and quickly waved his long sword, charging towards Silverflower. The sword light in the sky flickered, shattering the space around Silverflower. Silverflower's face was gloomy, and her figure lightly dodged. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon also rushed out, transforming into a divine dragon that was 100 feet long, roaring nonstop. At this moment, endless lightning rushed out of his body, contending with the surrounding sea of lightning. As a dragon, flying through clouds, summoning rain and spitting fire and releasing lightning were the most basic things. Therefore, how could the Crimson Dragon be afraid of this lightning? Is that all you've got? Show me what you've got, and show me what you've got. Lin Xian looked at the other party and said coldly. At this moment, the 9-yang divine body on his body bloomed with light, and endless sword qi surrounded it. He was like a peerless god of war. Since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish. Silverflower snorted coldly. With a wave of her jade-like hand, terrifying lightning descended. This time, the lightning was even more terrifying. It transformed into lightning with 5 types of light, the 5-colored divine lightning. The terrifying power was enough to kill a late-stage 9-star invincible king. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Lin Xian used the 9-yang divine body to the extreme. At the same time, dragon-shaped sword qi rushed out of his body and charged forward. The Crimson Dragon also roared and used the dragon race's great divine ability to contend with it. In an instant, the sky fell and the earth cracked. The 3 of them attacked, and there was not a single place that was intact within a radius of a few million miles. Humph! Mysterious runes flickered on Lin Xian's body. Terrifying light pulsed, and balls of 9-yang divine fire erupted. He was like a golden god of war, resisting the 5-colored divine lightning. It had to be said that the 5-colored divine lightning was extremely terrifying. When it hit Lin Xian's body, it was charred black. However, the 9-yang divine body was still able to forcibly resist it. 5-colored, wild, lightning, slash. Silverflower shouted and waved her jade-like hand. Immediately, 5-colored lightning gathered in her hand, forming a 5-colored lightning saber and slashed down. When the saber slashed out, the Crimson Dragon was shocked, and Lin Xian's pupils shrank. The 9-yang divine body also split open. Terrifying cracks appeared on it, revealing deep white bones. Blood dripped down from it. It dyed the void red. Haha, that kid is injured. I told you, he's no match for our master. In the distance, the ancient creatures sneered. Chapter 2797. The Crimson Dragon was also shocked. Kid, are you all right? He opened his mouth and spat out the Jiao dragon scissors. He quickly activated them and turned them into 2 dragons. They rushed forward and blasted away the remaining 5-colored lightning. This guy was too terrifying. After all, he was an archaic expert. Hurry up and use the half-step saint artifact. And Lin Xian nodded. He also took out the 9-story pagoda. In an instant, their strength increased to 25,000 archaic power. A half-step saint artifact? I didn't expect you to have such a treasure in your hands. Silverflower looked at the half-step saint artifacts in their hands. Her eyes flickered, and a hint of passion appeared in them. Half-step saint artifacts weren't cabbages. Even she didn't have many of them. If she could have one more, it would be a huge fortune. It seemed that the two of you had a lot of treasures on you. I'll kill you, and everything you have will be mine. She stretched out two big hands and grabbed forward. Although the two of them had used half-step saint artifacts, their archaic power was still inferior to hers. She wasn't afraid at all. Boom! Boom! The three of them exchanged more than 100 moves. The sky fell and the earth cracked. The crimson dragon gritted his teeth. Damn, this woman was too terrifying. She could actually resist a half-step saint artifact with her bare hands. Was this a late-stage 9-star invincible king? It was too terrifying. Lin Xian was also shocked. He could easily kill early-stage 9-star invincible kings now. He could even kill mid-stage 9-star invincible kings. However, he didn't expect a late-stage 9-star invincible king to be so terrifying. He took out a half-step saint artifact to fight against her. He even joined hands with the Crimson Dragon, but he still couldn't injure her. This scene was truly unbelievable to him. Golden runes flashed in his eyes, and his soul attack instantly surged out. Silverflower's body stiffened, and the lightning on her body also stopped. A trace of emptiness appeared in her eyes. Great, attack quickly. The two of them waved their attacks and charged forward. Bam! Silverflower was blasted away, and she spat out a mouthful of blood. However, her body didn't split open. The 5-colored lightning around her formed a 5-colored armor that wrapped around her body. After retreating for tens of thousands of miles, Silverflower stopped. She screamed, "Damn it, I'm going to kill you." She was simply too furious. She was a grand archaic expert. He was actually sent flying by 2 human ants. If news of this were to spread, how would she be able to maintain her standing among the 10,000 ancient races? He would probably lose all his face. Soul attack. Damn it. You actually have a soul attack. Brat, I won't forgive you. Silverflower roared, and the power of her bloodline burst forth, forming a lotus between her eyebrows. It defended her soul, preventing her opponent from using another soul attack. Kill! With a shout, she suddenly appeared beside Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon, giving them a fright. What incredible speed! Lin Xian's pupils constricted. His opponent's speed was too fast. It was hard for them to react. In an instant, the opponent's 5-colored divine lightning enveloped the two of them. Lin Xian's body was covered in cracks. The Crimson Dragon's body was also charred black. At the critical moment, Lin Xian roared, "Little White!" The snow-white little monkey instantly rushed out. Raising its hand, it slapped Silverflower's face directly. 3 seconds of dizziness. Even a late-stage 9-star king like Silverflower was hit by the snow-white monkey's divine power. These 3 seconds gave Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon an opportunity. The two of them instantly rushed out of the 5-colored divine lightning. At the same time, Lin Xian's eyes burst out with a cold light. He directly pulled out his dragon-shaped sword and slashed forward. The Crimson Dragon also spat out a mouthful of thick blood, staining the dragon's scissors. Buzz! The dragon's scissors trembled, and the 2 dragons released endless blood-colored light as if they had come alive. Their power increased greatly. Boom! 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 The 2's earth-shattering attacks landed on Silverflower's body. The 5-colored armor on Silverflower's body instantly shattered, and the 2 rays of light sent her flying again. This time, she retreated hundreds of thousands of miles. Silverflower once again spat out large mouthfuls of blood, and Lin Xian's sword chi even left a sword mark on her body. Injured, Master is actually injured. Damn it, this is impossible. The 4 archaic life forms' faces were filled with fear. They didn't dare to believe that a brat could actually injure their master. Was this heaven-defying? Silverflower stopped, her body trembling in anger. The 5-colored thunder surrounded her, enveloping her injuries. However, she frowned. Damn it, there was an aura left in her injuries that her five-colored divine lightning couldn't erase. What kind of sword chi was this? How could it be so terrifying? Silverflower was extremely shocked. Even with her 30,000 archaic life force, she couldn't erase this sword chi. She was too shocked. Damn it! What was that sword shadow in this brat's hand? It was too unexpected. One had to know that she estimated that the other party was only a young genius with 20,000 archaic life force. Even if she used a half-saint artifact, such a terrifying weapon, she could only reach 25,000 archaic life force. But that sword strike just now was at least 28,000 archaic life force. This was simply too shocking. One had to know that with her full strength, she could only reach 30,000 archaic life force. The other party was only 2,000 archaic life force lower than her. It was really shocking. She was a late-stage 9-star powerhouse. The other party was only an early-stage 8-star powerhouse. How many realms were there between the two of them? Damn it, there must be something wrong with that sword shadow in the other party's hand. Silverflower gritted her teeth. She swore that after killing the other party, she would definitely obtain that sword shadow. Brat, you have completely angered me. Although you have many treasures on you, there is still a gap between you and me. Silverflower's face was extremely cold. The aura on her body became more and more terrifying. The entire air was filled with violent lightning, as if a world-destroying, heavenly tribulation was about to erupt. Boom! 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 Around her, lightning beasts appeared one after another, emitting a terrifying aura, causing the entire world to change color. Boom! With a palm strike, under the power of the Silver Point race's bloodline, the five-colored divine lightning was terrifying to the extreme. This power could look down on everything. Not good. Brat, don't take it head-on. The Crimson Dragon roared angrily and recalled the dragon's scissors. It circled around him, forming a powerful defense. At the same time, he once again used the dragon race's great divine ability to resist. Lin Xian's expression was also incomparably solemn. He had to admit that the other party's strength was too strong. This power was still enough to threaten him. Even if he had the 9-yang divine body, it wouldn't be enough. With a roar, the 9-yang divine body bloomed with endless light. Golden runes flashed in his eyes as he searched for a place where the energy between heaven and earth was weak. He quickly used the yin-yang 8 steps to dodge. The sword chi in his hand kept swinging, piercing through the weak energy and entering it. Lin Xian's speed was very fast. He floated in the sky like a small boat in a storm that could capsize at any time. Chapter 2798. But in the end, he actually survived. When the storm disappeared and the palm landed on the ground, Lin Xian's body had some wounds, but they weren't serious. Kid, do you have any ideas? The Crimson Dragon came to Lin Xian's side. Why don't the two of us work together to activate the dragon's sword shadow? Lin Xian nodded. It seemed like that was the only way. The Crimson Dragon spat out a mouthful of blood onto the dragon-shaped sword shadow. Buzz! The dragon-shaped sword shadow trembled as if it had come alive, bursting out with an unparalleled light. The light of the 9 heavens and 10 earths was completely penetrated by the sword chi. At this moment, the 4 ancient creatures knelt on the ground, trembling nonstop. They couldn't even raise their heads. Yin Hua's expression also changed. Damn it, this power, what the hell is it? Her expression was solemn as she used the 5-colored divine lightning to the extreme. At the same time, she took the initiative to attack, because she knew that the other party's sword strike was enough to threaten her. Attack! Lin Xian roared as he poured all his strength into the dragon-shaped sword shadow. The Crimson Dragon did the same. The dragon's sword shadow rumbled and turned into a giant sword shadow that was thousands of feet long. It slashed down from the sky. Yinhua also attacked. A pair of 5-colored palms went against the sky and attacked Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon. But she was still a step too late. The dragon-shaped sword shadow in the sky slashed down and collided with the 2 5-colored palms. Between heaven and earth, endless light flickered. The area within 5 million miles was completely enveloped by this terrifying energy. Boom! Boom! The ground cracked and the mountains collapsed. Countless monsters below were turned into ashes by this energy. The aftermath spread out in all directions like a huge earthquake. Those warriors who rushed over from the imperial capital couldn't find it at first. But now that they felt this power, their expressions changed as they looked into the distance. What a terrifying aura! In the distance, a pillar of light that reached the sky flashed like a heavenly sword. There were 5-colored divine lightning, like a heavenly tribulation. There, it should be that battle. Let's go and take a look. They determined the direction and quickly rushed over. A fierce collision occurred between heaven and earth. The Crimson Dragon and Lin Xian kept retreating. The damage caused by the aftermath of this energy was simply too great. The 2 of them directly entered the Black Earth. The Black Earth kept rolling and colliding. But fortunately, it was incomparably sturdy and wasn't damaged. The 4 ancient life forms were directly turned to dust by this energy. They had no time to escape. Silver Flower was also heavily injured. The slash slashed through the 2 5-colored palms and landed on her body, shattering her 5-colored armor once again. Not only that, but the sword also split her body in half. Silver Flower's miserable voice rang out in the world, piercing through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. It was too miserable. Her body was directly split apart. The 2 halves of the corpse floated in the sky. Blood surged around her and dyed the void red, forming a sea of blood. Damn it! Silver Flower roared crazily, and the 2 halves of her body quickly healed together. However, in an instant it split open again. The aura of the great dragon sword soul was too terrifying. Even a late-stage 9-star king, like Silver Flower, couldn't completely destroy it, unless it took a long time. But now, where could he find so much time? On the other side, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon walked out again. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly, and the Crimson Dragon also exclaimed. As expected of the great dragon sword soul, it's indeed powerful. It can even kill such a terrifying ancient life form expert with a single slash. Kid, what should we do now? Looking at Silver Flower, who had been reassembled more than 10 times but was still shattered, the Crimson Dragon asked with a smile. Lin Xian's eyes burst out with light. Of course, we'll destroy her soul. The other party wanted to kill him, so how could he hold back? Hearing these cold words, Silver Flower's soul screamed, "Damn kid, you dare to kill me? I'm an expert of the Silver Electric race. If you kill me, the Silver Electric race won't let you off. I've already heard this 3 times. Not only you, but those 3 geniuses as well. However, I still managed to kill him. So, such threats are useless against me. If you want to threaten me, try something new." Lin Xian sneered, and golden runes flashed in his eyes. Activating the soul-burning secret technique, Silver Flower's soul seemed to be ignited, and she screamed crazily. Damn it! Soul attack! Bloodline power! Condense for me! She roared crazily, and her soul controlled the surrounding sea of blood to crazily wrap around her. Although her body was gone, the sea of blood reassembled, forming a blood person that temporarily wrapped around her soul. Silver Flower panted nonstop. That attack just now had caused her soul to be injured as well. Kid, just you wait. I won't let you off. A body formed by blood let out a cold voice. In the next moment, the crimson hand waved and covered the 2 halves of the corpse. Then, Silver Flower controlled the blood that filled the sky and ran into the distance. To be honest, she was too shocked. The other party's sword chi was too strange. Her broken body couldn't heal. This was something she had never encountered before. So she had to leave quickly. After returning to the clan, she would heal her body and recuperate before killing the other party. Now she had to ensure her safety. You want to leave? Do you think you can? Lin Xian snorted coldly and once again waved the dragon-shaped sword shadow and charged forward. Streaks of sword qi slashed on the blood. The blood was quickly obliterated. In an instant, 1/3 of the blood was cut clean. Silver Flower screamed crazily. She was really scared. The other party was too terrifying. She didn't dare to say anything and just ran away crazily. She quickly formed hand seals, and her blood burned to form a bloodline secret technique. She directly tore through the void and escaped. Not good. Kid. She used a bloodline secret technique and burned her blood. Chase after her. The Crimson Dragon exclaimed, and Lin Xian also frowned. Indeed, the other party was too fast, and he couldn't find her in an instant. He activated the heavenly secret divine eye, and a pair of golden eyes above his head looked down at the ground. Soon, he discovered that there was a monstrous, blood-colored aura a few million miles away. Found her. Let's go. Rusalong used the array formation. The two of them activated the array formation, tore through the void, and quickly chased after her. In front, after Silverflower used a secret technique, she increased her speed. Then, she heaved a sigh of relief. She swore that she would definitely take revenge. She would capture these two people and cut them into hundreds of thousands of pieces. However, not long after, she screamed. She was so scared that she almost peed her pants, because she discovered that not far away, the space split open and two figures actually came out. Damn it, they're here. How is this possible? How did the other party discover her? Chapter 2799. This scene scared Silverflower out of her wits. She used her secret technique again and didn't hesitate to burn her blood to escape quickly. Lin Xian activated the array formation as well. The two of them, one in front and one behind, quickly flew through the sky. There were many figures in front of them. They were the human warriors who were rushing over to watch the battle. Silverflower didn't know that. She thought that these people were called over by Lin Xian to surround and kill her. Therefore, she screamed, "Damn human, go to hell!" With a furious roar, the terrifying blood turned into a blood sword that rushed forward and slashed forward. In an instant, the void in front of them shattered. Many human warriors were instantly killed. There were even a few invincible kings among them. Seeing this scene, the remaining warriors screamed like they had gone mad. Damn it, demon, he's a demon. He killed several invincible kings with one slash and brought so many peerless powerhouses with him. Was this something a human could do? The powerhouses of the 10,000 ancient races were too terrifying. Damn it, was Lin Xian fighting with such a person? Where was he? Could it be that he had already been killed? No way. Did you say that Lin Xian had died? These people were extremely shocked. Many of the saints and saintesses' eyelids twitched wildly. Indeed, such an ancient powerhouse was beyond their tolerance. They probably couldn't even withstand a single move from the other party. If Lin Xian were to fight with such a person, the odds would be stacked against him. The people from the Inyang sect and the Tuoba family sneered. If Lin Xian was really killed, it would be great. It would be something worth celebrating. However, very soon they were stunned. Their expressions became extremely unsightly, and their eyes were filled with intense fear. They all trembled, because the void not far away cracked open and two figures walked out. It was Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon. After Lin Xian came out, he slashed forward with his sword. Let's see where you can escape." When Silverflower saw that the other party was chasing after her again, she screamed and turned into a bloody wave that rolled into the distance. "Damn brat! Just you wait, I won't let you off," she screamed as she ran. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon quickly chased after them. The surrounding human ancient martial art practitioners were stunned. Their minds were blank, and they could not believe what they were seeing. What did they see? Lin Xian was pursuing an ancient powerhouse, and this ancient powerhouse could casually kill several invincible kings. Heavens, how is this possible? I'm not dreaming, am I? When did Lin Xian become so powerful? These people were all crazy. The saints and saintesses, in particular, were trembling in fear. Previously, they had thought that Lin Xian had been killed, but who would have thought that things were not as they had imagined? It was Lin Xian chasing after the experts of the 10,000 ancient races. This scene was simply too shocking. Lin Xian was incomparably powerful. He chased after Silverflower until she had no way out. Finally, when she was 9 million miles away, Lin Xian caught up to her. Using the great dragon sword soul and the heavenly secret divine eye, he destroyed her soul. Bang! 2 halves of her body fell to the ground, sinking the ground. A sea of blood surged and enveloped the surroundings. Within a radius of 5 million miles, it was directly shattered. Nothing could be done about it. This was the blood of an ancient powerhouse. It contained extremely terrifying energy. Every drop was incomparably terrifying. "Kid, don't waste this blood. It's good for us." The Crimson Dragon began to set up an array formation. The array formation rotated, collecting the surrounding blood. Lin Xian nodded. It was just right to use it to temper the 9-yang divine body. Buzz! He entered the array formation, and the endless blood of the ancient powerhouse drowned the 2 of them. The blood carried monstrous killing intent and terrifying energy as it constantly bombarded Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian's body split open. He began to cultivate according to the cultivation technique of the 9-yang divine body. This scene was too terrifying. The monstrous blood qi soared into the sky. That shocking aura was so terrifying that even invincible kings did not dare to step into it. Therefore, the surrounding human warriors did not dare to get close at all. They could only watch this terrifying scene from the outside. They were all guessing if the ancient powerhouse had fallen. Moreover, no one dared to go and watch. After all, even invincible kings were not enough to deal with an expert of that level. Amidst the vast mountains, a group of figures descended. These people were dressed in strange clothes, and they were very strange. There were terrifying patterns on their bodies. Obviously, they were not humans. These were the people of the ancient demon spider clan. After they left the imperial capital, they came to this mountain range to look for the 8,000-year-old spiritual herb. The place where the spiritual herb was located was a damaged ruin. It should have been left behind by an ancient powerhouse. Therefore, there were terrifying remnants of the array formation. There were even a few terrifying monster kings guarding the place. After all, the 8,000-year-old spiritual herb was not only wanted by these ancient creatures, but also by those powerful monster kings. The young man of the ancient demon spider clan, Si Han, led his subordinates and began to break the array formation. He had even killed 2 powerful demon kings. Boom! Boom! Suddenly, the earth trembled, and the surrounding mountains collapsed as if there was an earthquake. The sky shook and the earth shook. What's going on? What happened? Could it be that another monster king had come? Those ancient demon spider clan powerhouses were puzzled. Si Han also frowned, and a piercing light burst out from his eyes, sweeping in all directions. However, he did not find any powerful monster kings. The next moment he looked up at the sky, and a hint of surprise appeared in his eyes, because at this moment the sky was dyed red, and a boundless aura was gathering in this direction. So terrifying! What is this? The other ancient demon spiders also saw this scene. They all rose into the air and looked into the distance. What a terrifying blood! Did a peerless powerhouse fall? Or was he practicing some strange cultivation technique? They looked into the distance and exclaimed. The monstrous energy contained in this sea of blood was too terrifying. Why do I feel that this blood is so familiar? It contains an extremely terrifying power of thunder and lightning. Could it be the blood of a powerhouse from the Silver Electric clan? An ancient creature muttered in a low voice. As soon as this was said, the expressions of the others changed drastically. Don't talk nonsense. How could a powerhouse from the Silver Electric clan fall? Although 3 geniuses have fallen, the blood of the younger generation added together is not so terrifying. This is definitely a peerless powerhouse. Who can kill such a powerhouse? Who dares to kill him? The ancient creatures were puzzled. Si-hun also frowned. The situation is not simple. Perhaps a terrifying human powerhouse has made a move. Si-hun's expression was also solemn. He said, "Don't worry about these things. The Silver Electric clan has nothing to do with me. Let's break the array formation first and get the 8,000-year-old spiritual herb." Chapter 2800. They carefully hid their auras and ignored the terrifying sea of blood. Instead, they sped up their attacks on the damaged ruins. On the other side, Lin Xian's 9 sons' body was rapidly absorbing the power in the endless sea of blood. A heavy aura burst out, as if there were thousands of mountains in the sky. Finally, Lin Xian let out a long roar, and the sea of blood that filled the sky shattered. The energy was all absorbed by him and the Crimson Dragon. His divine body had broken through to the 6th stage of the second heaven. His strength and defense were much stronger than before. The Crimson Dragon's strength had also increased. The dragon blood in his body surged, bringing with it a monstrous pressure. Awesome, it's really awesome. The Crimson Dragon shouted excitedly. He really hoped that he could kill a few more of these ancient powerhouses. Indeed, Lin Xian nodded. These ancient powerhouses contained extremely terrifying bloodline power. Their energy was not inferior to the spiritual herbs of those characters. However, this kind of thing could only be chanced upon by luck. Lin Xian had spent a lot of effort to kill this silver flower. Kid, let's go back. You've killed so many Silver Electric powerhouses. The Silver Electric race will probably go crazy. If a few old monsters jump out, it'll be dangerous. Lin Xian nodded. He also had such a plan. He planned to go back and cultivate in seclusion for a while to increase his strength again. After all, with the 10,000 ancient races out, there would probably be more and more monsters and powerhouses. Moreover, the Silver Electric race was only one of the stronger ones among the 10,000 ancient races. They were not the royal race or the royal race. One could imagine that the powerhouses of the royal race and the royal race would be even more terrifying. He had to increase his strength as soon as possible in order to compete with these people. The 2 of them were about to leave. However, at this moment, a golden light flashed in the distance, followed by a thunderous sound. The sky shattered. The terrifying scene shocked everyone. That aura even shocked Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon. Was there a powerful enemy? The 2 of them were extremely nervous. One must know that their strength had just increased, and they were much more powerful than before. Yet that light still astonished them. Could it be an expert from the Silvery Lightning Village? The Crimson Dragon was terrified. Lin Xian quickly used his heavenly secret god eyes. The golden eye in the sky looked into the distance, trying to see through everything. Within the lush mountain, within the ruined cave dwelling, a formation flickered. A streak of sword light hacked out, directly killing several archaic creatures. The others also vomited mouthfuls of blood. These people were from the ancient demon spider clan. Their 4 souls were also injured, and their blood was boiling. His face was incomparably ugly. Damn it! They had tried to force their way out of the formation. Who would have thought that after so many years, the formation would still be so terrifying? It released a terrifying ray of light that directly killed a few of his subordinates. Even he almost died here. This left him with a lingering fear. My lord, what should we do? The ancient life forms' faces turned gloomy. The four souls quickly suppressed their injuries and wanted to attack. However, at this moment, he suddenly raised his head and looked at the sky. In the sky, a pair of golden eyes was coldly looking down at them. Oh no, who is it? The eyes were too cold, giving them a sense of oppression in their souls. It was as if a god above the 9 heavens was ruthlessly looking down at the sky. Retreat, retreat quickly. The four souls were so scared that his face turned pale. He waved his hand and quickly retreated into the distance. The ancient life forms also quickly retreated. They hid their auras. The golden eyes naturally belonged to Lin Xian. He used his heavenly secret god eyes to observe the situation in the distance. He saw clearly that in the distant mountain range there were several corpses of ancient life forms, and blood was flowing. There was also a broken ancient cave dwelling. Soon he withdrew his gaze. The Crimson Dragon asked, "Kid, how was it? What did you see?" Lin Xian told him what he saw. After the Crimson Dragon heard this, he narrowed his eyes. It seemed that it should be an ancient ruin. However, he was discovered by these ancient life forms. He should have touched the formation just now, so he launched that attack. Lin Xian nodded. He thought so too. Moreover, he said that the corpses of those ancient life forms seemed to be from the ancient demon spider clan that we encountered in the Imperial Palace. The ancient demon spider clan. The Crimson Dragon was also surprised. It turned out to be them. It seems that there must be something good in the broken cave dwelling. Should we go and take a look? All right. Lin Xian nodded. If it was really those people in the imperial capital, he was not afraid. Although there were many ancient life forms, and there was a young man who looked very powerful, he and the Crimson Dragon were enough to deal with them. Therefore, they decided to go and investigate. After all, they were very eager for energy now. The two of them turned into streaks of light and flew toward the distant mountain range. Not long after, they descended from the sky. The Crimson Dragon saw that there were several ancient life form corpses around, and there were terrifying energy remnants in the surroundings. Lin Xian looked around and found that there was no one around. He thought that the other ancient life forms should have left. The Crimson Dragon looked at the ancient cave dwelling in front of him, and his eyes shone with appreciation. What a terrifying formation! Although it's so broken, it still has such a strong attack power. No wonder it can kill so many ancient life forms in an instant. Can you break it? Lin Xian asked. Don't worry, who is Ben Huang? Is there a formation that Ben Huang can't break? Give me some time, I promise to break it. The Crimson Dragon swayed its tail, rushed forward, and began to study the formation. Lin Xian also came forward, and his eyes flickered. The two of them were ready to work together to break it. In the distance, the four souls led the ancient demon spider clan away from the ancient palace and retreated into the distance. However, they did not leave. After all, they were determined to get the 8,000-year-old spiritual herb in the ancient cave dwelling. However, they had to lie low for now. The four souls formed a hand seal, and a strange light appeared in his eyes. Around the ancient cavern, the eyes of the corpses of the ancient life forms that had been killed suddenly moved. They also flickered with a strange light and began to move. This scene was very strange. Lin Xian did not notice it, because he did not expect that the eyes of the dead could not move. My lord, what's the situation? Is it a human Holy Lord level powerhouse? The ancient demon spider clan warriors in the distance asked. The four souls shook his head. No, damn it, it's that kid. It's that Lin Xian. What? Are you talking about the Immortal Palace clan? He actually came here. Is he going to rob us? "My lord, why don't I go and kill him?" Many ancient life forms stood up and said while gnashing their teeth. Chapter 2801. Si-hun also frowned. That shouldn't be the case. I've already told Silverflower. Logically speaking, with Silverflower's strength, she should be able to kill him easily. But why is he still alive? Could it be that Silverflower didn't meet him? After thinking about it, he felt that there was only one possibility. He never thought that Silverflower would be killed when the two sides met. In his view, it was impossible. He knew very well how powerful Silverflower was. How could this kid fight against the one in front of him? However, when he saw Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon cracking the formation, his eyes lit up, and the corners of his mouth raised into a cold smile. Don't act rashly. These two seem to have a certain level of attainment in formations. They are cracking the formation of the ancient cave mansion. Wait for them to break the formation. Then we'll kill our way in and snatch the 8,000-year-old spiritual herb. At the same time, we'll kill these two people. A cruel light appeared in his eyes. The others laughed as well. Yes, that ancient formation was too much of a threat to them. A divine light directly killed several of their companions. They didn't dare to face it again. Now that someone was helping them crack the formation, it was really great. These people all waited here patiently. This wait lasted for 8 days. On this day, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon finally found the flaw of the formation and successfully cracked it. With a crack, the ancient killing intent disappeared, and the light of the formation also dimmed. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon both breathed a sigh of relief. In the distance, in the endless mountain range, Si-hun and the other creatures of the ancient demon spider clan also cheered excitedly. Great, it's cracked. It's finally cracked. I didn't expect these two guys to have such high attainments in formations. To be able to crack such a peerless formation. What are we waiting for? Let's go quickly. The 4 souls rose to their feet and waved their hands, sending them flying forward in a swarm that blotted out the sky. In front, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon, after breaking the formation, were ready to enter. However, they frowned instead. They could sense a powerful energy, fluctuation coming from behind them. Many figures were flickering. It was flying towards them. Damn it, someone's coming. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a golden light, and his face sank. It was a member of the ancient demon spider clan. What? They're back? Damn it, they couldn't have been waiting here for us to break the formation. Right? The Crimson Dragon instantly understood the reason. These guys actually dared to let us take the lead and reap the benefits. He really wanted to kill them. Lin Xian said in a low voice, "Then let's kill them." He turned around. The two of them stood side by side as they stared at the 6 primordial creatures that had appeared before them. The person at the front was none other than the 4th soul. He brought his 5 subordinates to the sky and looked down at Lin Xian. "Ha ha ha ha, kid! I didn't expect you to be able to break the formation. Thank you very much. Don't worry, since you've broken the formation, I'll give you a quick death. Let you die less painfully. If you have any last words, leave them." Behind him, the primordial creatures all sneered. They looked down at Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon as if they were looking at dead people. The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth. "Damn it, you want to kill us? Who do you think you are? Come here, Ben Huang, and I'll slap you to death." Lin Xian also sneered. He had even killed the powerful Silverflower, let alone these primordial creatures. "You're really courting death. Since that's the case, I'll fulfill your wish." Lin Xian's body burst out with a biting cold aura. "Kid, you really don't know what's good for you. Do you think you can contend against me just because you killed 3 silver lightning clan geniuses?" The 4th soul sneered. "Let me tell you, the strongest of the 3 silver lightning clan geniuses only had 12,000 units of archaic power. However, I've reached 18,000 units of archaic power. Similarly, I can easily kill all three of them together. Kid, you're not my match at all. Kneel down obediently, and I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, if you offend me, I'll make you wish you were dead. Kid, kneel down quickly. Before our Lord gets angry, you're dead." The primordial creatures beside him also hooted and sneered. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes after hearing this. 18,000 units of archaic power? They were indeed powerful. But so what? He could even kill Silverflower, who had 30,000 units of archaic power, let alone a mere opponent. Moreover, he didn't need to use the dragon-shaped sword shadow. His own strength was enough to kill the other party. One had to know that according to the Crimson Dragon, he had reached 21,000 units of archaic power before. Now his 9-yang divine body had improved again, and his archaic power was estimated to be around 22,000 units. The Crimson Dragon next to him also had about 21,000 units of archaic power. Either of them could easily get rid of the other. Where did the other party get the confidence to show off in front of them? How about this? I won't kill you. Lin Xian looked ahead. Hand over all the ancient treasures in your hands. At the same time, each of you will give me half of your primordial blood. I can spare your lives. What? Lin Xian's words had completely angered these primordial creatures. They would give him half of their blood and all the treasures in their hands? What a joke! They were the 10,000 ancient races, high and mighty. Humans were only their slaves. Now, a slave dared to say such words to them? He really didn't know what death was. The fourth soul was so angry that his face darkened. "Kid, you're dead meat. I've decided that I'll make you wish you were dead." He roared angrily and charged over. His posture was very arrogant. His palm covered the sky and the earth, enveloping Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon at the same time. He wanted to capture the two of them together. This was because he was very confident. 18,000 units of archaic power made him too powerful. Unless it was an even more terrifying existence from the ancient royal family or the imperial family. Only then would they be able to threaten him. Otherwise, it would be an extremely terrifying senior figure. He didn't take someone like Lin Xian seriously at all. Looking at this scene, Lin Xian was expressionless. He raised his fist and punched out. This punch was simple and direct, but it was very violent. The 9 suns divine fist shot out like a sun, meeting the attack head-on. Boom! An earth-shattering sound rang out, and blood splattered everywhere. This punch directly blasted the huge palm into pieces. Blood splattered everywhere, and bones shattered all over ground. Ah! The fourth soul screamed as if he had gone crazy. His palm trembled nonstop, and his face was filled with fear. The ancient life forms in the surroundings were also stunned. The other party had actually broken their lord's attack with a single punch, and even crippled their lord's palm. This made them incredulous. How did the other party do it? Chapter 2802. Damn it! Could it be that the other party used some terrifying weapon? Before they could figure it out, the Four Souls Hall screamed again. That was because the Crimson Dragon spewed out balls of flames that enveloped the remaining half of the palm. Whoosh! The palm was burning rapidly. The Crimson Dragon's strength also surpassed the Four Souls Hall's. So in an instant, half of the Four Souls Hall's arm was ignited. He screamed crazily, and the mysterious patterns on his body appeared, forming a force that suppressed the flames. His body was charred black and his face was pale. He kept panting, and his cold eyes were spewing flames. "Damn it, you've completely angered me. I'm going to tear you into pieces." He roared, and his broken arm was restored again. At the same time, the patterns on his body became more and more terrifying. Behind him, a few black branches appeared. There were yellow flower runes on them, making them look like tree branches. But if one looked carefully, they would find that they were spider feet. They were originally from the primordial demon spider clan, and their main bodies were large spiders. At this moment, the Four Souls Hall transformed into their main bodies. 8 spider feet bared their fangs and brandished their claws. Each of them was like a peerless divine spear, piercing through the void and quickly charging toward Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon. "Die, kid!" he roared crazily. 8 silhouettes that looked like divine spears pierced through the void. In an instant, they arrived beside Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon. This time he did not hold back at all. He could easily kill several Holy Saint-level heavenly gums. So, in his opinion, this time the other party was definitely dead for sure. "You're courting death." Lin Xian let out a long roar and took a step forward. His hands shone with golden light as he grabbed forward. In an instant, he grabbed the 4 divine spears and then pulled hard. With a crack, the Four Souls Hall's claws were directly broken. Ah! An earth-shattering sound rang out, accompanied by screams, and blood splattered again. The Four Souls Hall was in so much pain that it almost fainted. Its claws were easily broken by the other party. How is that possible? He was too shocked. He had 18,000 archaic power. How could the other party resist? Could it be that the other party was stronger than him? He couldn't accept it. In the next moment, he screamed again because his other 4 claws were also shattered by the Crimson Dragon. His 8 claws were all broken. This caused him to roll in the sky in pain. Damn it, kill them. Kill them all. The 4 souls roared madly and ordered their subordinates to attack. He needed time to recover. The Archean creatures quickly moved out. Although the other party was powerful, they had no choice but to obey. Furthermore, the 5 of them quickly formed a terrifying killing formation, preparing to join forces to kill the other party. Sure enough, the 5 of them stood on the ground and clawed at Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon. Terrifying auras surged from their bodies, and mysterious patterns appeared on each of their bodies. Needless to say, they were activating their bloodline power. Indeed, an illusory figure appeared in the middle of the 5 of them. It was an ancient, illusory figure that emitted an incomparably terrifying aura that could crush the 9 heavens. It was a spider. It was very large, like a small mountain. Its entire body was black, and there were terrifying yellow patterns on it. They were densely packed and crawling all over its body. Those cold eyes were like those of a primordial beast looking down on the world. It was too terrifying. This was an ancestral, awakening, illusory figure that was activated by their bloodline power. Each of the 5 of them had about 12,000 units of Archean power. If they were to fight with Lin Xian, they would not be a match for him at all. However, the ancient, illusory figure that they summoned with all their strength was very terrifying. Its aura seemed to be stronger than the 4 souls from before. Behind them, the 4 souls had recovered from his injuries again. His face was pale, and he gritted his teeth and rushed over. He opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood essence on the ancient, illusory figure. In the next moment, he also activated his bloodline power. Roar! The ancient demonic spider roared, and a terrifying light bloomed on its body. It was getting more and more solid. It was as if a real ancient beast had been resurrected. It was too terrifying. His strength rose again. Go to hell, kid. With the 4 souls as the leader, the 5 ancient creatures attacked together and pushed the ancient, illusory figure. They were courting death. Lin Xian roared and pulled out his ancient sword. Qi erupted from his body, and the dragon sword spirit in his body roared as he quickly slashed forward. The long sword was like a dragon, mercilessly slashing down. In the sky, it was as if thousands of mountains were descending. Puff! The terrifying ancient illusory figure, the ancient demonic spider, was split apart by the sword. Ah! The 5 archaic life forms that had attacked also suffered backlash and were torn to pieces. Even the 4 souls had half of his body cut apart. He was in so much pain that he screamed and rolled in the sky. Damn it, impossible! How is this possible? At this moment he was extremely terrified. The other party's sword was able to injure 6 of them. It was too terrifying. One had to know that the attack just now was definitely more than 20,000 units of Archean power. Even so, they could not do anything to the other party. Who was the other party? Could it be that the other party's strength was above 20,000 units of Archean power? He did not dare to imagine. I've said it before. Since you don't want to leave, then go to hell obediently. Lin Xian's fingers moved, and a few sword qi pierced the souls of the 5 ancient creatures around him. In the next moment, he came in front of the 4 souls and slowly raised the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand. No, you can't kill me. I'm the young master of the ancient demonic spider clan. If you kill me, you're dead meat. Our ancient demonic spider clan will never let you go. My grandfather is a supreme elder. The 4 souls screamed crazily. His identity was extremely extraordinary. It could be said that he was very high in the ancient demonic spider clan. The other 10,000 ancient races did not dare to provoke him, let alone humans. Therefore, he wanted to use his identity to suppress the other party. Is that so? So what? Lin Xian was unmoved, and the long sword still slashed down. This scene made the 4 souls feel incomparable despair. In his opinion, as long as he used his identity, even the saints and princes of the sacred grounds would have to crawl under his feet. However, the other party was not moved at all, and still wanted to kill him. He screamed and wanted to escape, but how could he escape? In an instant his body was shattered. Only a head was left, and his head was also constantly changing, transforming into the appearance of his original spider body. In the next moment, he burned the power of his bloodline, wanting to escape. Lin Xian reached out a golden palm, enveloping heaven and earth, and firmly sealing him. Still want to escape? Do you think you can be so powerful? Crush everyone. In front of me, you're just an ant. Today, I'll let you have a taste of being crushed by others. The killing intent on Lin Xian's body became sharper and sharper. The head trembled nonstop and could not bear it and was torn apart. However, at this time, a terrifying aura rushed out from between his eyebrows. Who dares to hurt my grandson? Chapter 2803. Grandpa, save me. Si Han was overjoyed. He breathed a sigh of relief and smiled sinisterly. Kid, you're dead meat. This is what my grandpa left for me. Let's see how you fight back. His grandpa was the supreme elder of the ancient demonic spider clan, and his strength was terrifying. He had left a life-saving talisman in his body. This talisman would only be activated when his life was at stake. Now was the time. Si Han was not worried at all. He knew how terrifying his grandpa's strength was. Although it was only a life-saving talisman, he believed that no one could resist it. Sure enough, in the sky, the light transformed into an old man floating in the void. Although it was only an illusion, it emitted a supreme aura that caused the entire world to tremble. A mere human dares to go against the ancient demonic spider clan? Kneel down and accept your death. The old figure shrouded Lin Xian with a supreme pressure, wanting to blast Lin Xian into pieces. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The dragon's sword soul in his body roared and let out a loud dragon roar to resist. The sky fell and the earth cracked. The old man's expression changed. Dragon, you have dragon power. Who are you? Who am I? I'm the one who's going to kill you. Lin Xian pulled out the dragon-shaped sword shadow and erupted with terrifying power. The crimson dragon came to his side and poured its power into it. Roar! The 1,000-foot-long dragon shadow slashed down mercilessly. Die, you old thing! He wanted to end the battle quickly and not leave too many traces because he realized that the light figure was too terrifying. It was not weaker than Yin Hua from before. Yin Hua had used all its power to erupt with such a terrifying aura, but the soul imprint in front of him was already so terrifying. My true body must be very heaven-defying. Therefore, he had to quickly solve the problem. You're courting death. When the old man saw that the ant dared to attack him, he roared angrily, and his body erupted with endless light. A fist punched out and collided with the dragon-shaped sword shadow. In the next moment, the apocalyptic scene appeared again. Although this old man was strong, he was still killed by the great dragon sword soul. Moreover, he was smashed into pieces. Seeing this scene, the four souls screamed crazily. That was a life-saving talisman that his grandfather had left for him. Yet it was useless against him. Right now he was filled with regret. Why did he have to provoke the other party? However, he no longer had the chance to regret. His head had turned into ashes, and his soul had been completely destroyed by the sword. With a single sword strike, the sky was split apart, and a gigantic fissure that was millions of miles long appeared on the ground. All of the ancient creatures had been completely wiped out. Everything, including the soul of the Supreme Elder, no longer existed. If anyone was here and saw this scene, they would definitely scream. Fortunately, there was no one around. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon entered the ancient ruins in front of them, inside a spirit vein. Beneath the ground there were countless caves. Inside the caves there were spider webs that filled the sky. On the dense spider webs there were terrifying spiders crawling one after another. These were all ancient demon spiders. This cave was the habitat of the ancient demon spider clan. At this moment, in the deepest part of the spirit vein, a large spider suddenly opened its eyes. It was an old man, and its eyes were shining with a piercing, cold light. "Damn it! How dare you kill my grandson? I'm going to tear you to shreds!" A terrifying roar resounded in the sky, and the entire ancient demon spider clan was shaken. What? The grandson of a grand elder was killed. Could it be that it was the four souls? No way, who dared to kill him? Was it another Archean royal family? No, the Supreme Elder's soul mark should be in the body of the Supreme Elder, which could definitely save his life. Who was the one who did it? These people were very puzzled. The Supreme Elder's face was gloomy. His remaining soul mark was also destroyed by the other party, so he had no idea who did it. Investigate. Investigate thoroughly. We must find out who killed the four souls. No matter who he is, I won't spare him. The Supreme Elder's voice was cold. The experts of the ancient demon spider clan moved out one after another. On the other side, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon entered the ancient ruins. The two of them walked carefully, but fortunately, there were no other dangers in the ruins except for the terrifying killing array outside. The two of them ran all the way and finally arrived at the medicine field and found that most of the spiritual herbs had withered. The Crimson Dragon felt that it was a pity. If these spiritual herbs were left to the present, they would definitely be peerless treasures. However, Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, there was a spiritual herb that was still alive, and it was growing very vigorously. The Crimson Dragon stared at the spiritual herb in surprise. The spiritual herb was more than 1/2 meter tall, crystal clear, like an immortal medicine, and emitted a strong medicinal fragrance. "Kid, you're rich!" the Crimson Dragon exclaimed, and Lin Xian also took a deep breath. Indeed, he was rich. He carefully plucked the spiritual herb and then put it away. Using it as a guiding herb, coupled with other heaven and earth treasures, he could refine a furnace of good pills. Let's go. Lin Xian was very satisfied. In addition to formations, he had not neglected alchemy over the years. Hearing this, the Crimson Dragon was even more excited. He was very clear about Lin Xian's alchemy skills. That effect was much stronger than just consuming the heaven and earth treasure alone. Therefore, he was a little impatient. The two of them left the cave, and in a flash they soared into the sky and returned to the immortal palace. After returning to the immortal palace, Lin Xian began to cultivate in seclusion, refining pills, and the Crimson Dragon began to study formations. At the same time, the true spirit world shook. One after another, the ancient races revived. In addition to the previous time when they sent out envoys, this time they made an even bigger move. Young geniuses from the 10,000 ancient races came out one after another, and they challenged the saints, saintesses, princes, and princesses. They swept all the way, and everyone was terrified. They even declared that they would defeat all the human geniuses, and let everyone know who is the future master of this world. Not good. The four symbols saints were defeated. The Reverence Moon Saintess was also defeated. The new Myriad Thunder Saint was also defeated. The Yin-Yang Sex Saint was also defeated. The Divine Wind Dynasty's Prince was also defeated. News swept across the world like a hurricane. The saints and saintesses who were originally at the peak of the young generation, who were looked up to, were defeated one after another. The human ancient martial art practitioners could not accept this scene at all. They felt that the sky was about to collapse. As for the names of the ancient races, they were like comets that swept across the continent. Fire Cloud Race, Heavenly Dog Race, Silver Lightning Race, Ancient Demon Spider, Demon Ape Race. Terrifying ancient races appeared one after another, and their young geniuses were very scary. However, there were a few people in the human race who were also very scary. Even if they were challenged by the 10,000 ancient races' geniuses, they still did not lose. Chapter 2804. The most dazzling of them all was Yi Wudao. The Yi family's sacred physique was naturally the center of attention, attracting countless archean creatures to challenge him. However, the sacred physique was too terrifying. He had yet to be defeated, which made the human powerhouses heave a sigh of relief. Fortunately, they had a sacred physique. The Yao Guang sage of the eastern wilderness was also shocking. He displayed powerful combat prowess and swept through all directions, defeating one archean prodigy after another who came to challenge him. The Gu family's Gu Santong was also terrifying. There was also Morong Qingqing and Xinjing Qiu. They also rose to prominence in this chaos. The other person was even more shocking. The Taishian sage. He usually didn't show his strength, but the combat strength he displayed now was terrifying. This made everyone realize that he had been hiding his strength before. On the middle ground side, there was the great Xia Prince, Princess Divine Wind, and the Ninely Crown Prince. The three of them were also incomparably terrifying, sweeping through the area. The Demon King Palace. Hua, Tiandu, and Yan Ryu were powerful. But recently, the Demon King Palace and the 10,000 Archean tribe were very close, which made everyone even more worried. On the western desert side, Wuqin and Wuhua were also terrifying. The southern mountains Yan Nantian was even more terrifying. The victories of these prodigies made the human race feel gratified. Fortunately, they still had hope, especially the top geniuses among the titled prodigies. They could definitely survive the Archean Age contest. They could even advance further. However, what surprised them was that there was no news of Lin Xian. That's not right. Logically speaking, as the Middle Emperor, Lin Xian should have received countless challenges. Why wasn't there any news? Could it be that Lin Xian was defeated? Impossible. If he was defeated, the news would be even more terrifying. Could it be that he didn't dare to fight? Perhaps there was something else? Everyone discussed. After all, they knew about Lin Xian's strength. Moreover, Lin Xian had forcefully chased away the Silver Electric Tribe's envoy. Later, they heard that he had killed 3 Silver Electric Tribe prodigies in the imperial capital. With such a strong attitude and terrifying strength, how could he be afraid of these Archean creatures? However, there was indeed no news of Lin Xian recently. They discussed animatedly, and many of them even began to investigate. During this period of time, archaic heavenly talents came one after another, wishing to challenge Lin Xian. However, they were all blocked outside the Peerless Formation. The Hall Master was in seclusion and was not prepared to fight for the time being. The ancient creature didn't believe it. It thought that Lin Xian was afraid. Actually, Lin Xian was really in seclusion. He had just obtained an 8,000-year-old spiritual herb from the ancient ruins and was using it to refine a cauldron of pills to increase his strength. This time he had been in seclusion for a long time to refine the pill. He had made ample preparations, so he was completely unaware of what was happening in the outside world. However, the Archean prodigies only laughed coldly. He directly announced that Lin Xian would not accept the challenge. For a moment, the world was in an uproar. What Central Emperor? It turned out to be a coward. A Skype ride from the Tiango clan sneered. The Tiango race was a very powerful race among the 10,000 ancient races. It was said that they could swallow the moon. This genius had the head of a dog and the body of a human. He had a pair of white wings on his back, which was very strange. That's right. How dare he be called the Central Emperor? I think he should give up the title as soon as possible. How can he be worthy of the word emperor? A sky pride from the fire cloud race also snorted disdainfully. His entire body was bathed in flames, carrying a terrifying divine fire. It surged into the sky, and wherever it passed, not a single blade of grass grew. On the silver lightning race's side, killing intent surged. This time, several prodigies came and directly clamored to kill Lin Xian on the spot. They had no choice. The incident in the imperial capital had already spread. The 3 prodigies of the silver lightning race were killed in public by Lin Xian. Even their souls did not escape. That was a slap to their faces in public. They had to return the favor, so they had to kill the other party in front of everyone in the world. Seeing how arrogant these ancient royal family members were, Lin Xian's supporters couldn't take it anymore. They also said, "What are you so arrogant for? How can you compare to God Lin Xian's strength?" That's right. God Lin Xian is a titled prodigy, and his strength is on par with Yi Dao Denier. If you have the ability, go ahead and challenge Yi Dao Denier first. That's right. Let's see if you can beat him. Those people snorted coldly and quickly counterattacked. However, the people of the 10,000 archaic races clamored again. Sacred bodies are very powerful, but so what? Up until now, the ancient royal family hasn't made a move. There's still the ancient royal family above us. Do you think those people can resist such a prodigy? When those words were said, the world was shocked again. Soon, news about the 10,000 archaic races spread. Everyone learned about the ancient races. They also knew how terrifying those royal families were. There were even more terrifying royal families. They were equivalent to the ancient noble families of the human race. And from the looks of it, they were even more terrifying than the ancient noble families. Not only that, but some primordial language and primordial power were also spread. For a moment, everyone was discussing spiritedly. Every day, there would be a prodigy battle. The ancient races were awakening one by one, and they were too powerful. Although the human race had top prodigies like Yi Dao Denier and Yan Nantian, most of them were no match for the ancient races. For a moment, they were suppressed miserably. Not long after, a piece of shocking news spread. It made the human prodigies even more shocked, and their hearts were incomparably heavy. A peerless prodigy of the Blood Moon race had appeared. Soon, he would fight against the top prodigies of the human race. The Blood Moon race was one of the ancient royal families. Their strength was terrifying. When this news spread, the world was in an uproar. Was the ancient royal family finally going to make a move? The human race trembled, while the other 10,000 ancient races cried out in alarm. Ha 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 ha, you humans are dead meat. That's right. The royal family is finally going to make a move. They were too excited. The royal family was an extremely terrifying existence. The power of their bloodline was even purer and more terrifying. Sure enough, not long after, news spread. In the great Rift Valley of the northern plains, they saw a majestic figure soaring into the sky. That figure was majestic, and his blood, chi, surged into the sky. Wherever he passed, a sea of blood rolled, forming a blood-red ring. It made the world tremble. It was said that a few invincible kings went to investigate out of curiosity. In the end, they were killed on the spot. This scene made the human race cry out in alarm. Even Yi Daudenier, the Alcade sage, the Granxia prince, Dustless, and the others had grave expressions. Was the ancient royal family prodigy about to make a move? It seemed that it should be very terrifying. This was not the end. After the Blood Moon Race's prodigy, another terrifying existence appeared. In the endless mountains of the Nanling Mountains, a blue figure descended powerfully. All living beings within 1,000,000 miles were slaughtered. That person was like a fiend god. With one move, he killed countless lives and swallowed their souls. Among them, there were even several invincible kings. Chapter 2805. When the news spread, the human race was terrified, and the 10,000 ancient races cried out in alarm. The Blue Devil race. Ha! Another royal race had appeared. While they were excited, their eyes were also filled with fear. The Blue Devil race was powerful, and they were good at devouring the souls of others to strengthen themselves. Therefore, it was best not to provoke them. All sorts of news about the Blue Devil race spread, and the world was abuzz with discussion. The appearance of two primordial geniuses gave the human race a lot of pressure. Would Yi Wu Dao and the others be able to resist? Boom! Boom! In the eastern wilderness, the sky cracked open and countless silver rays of light fell down like a silver waterfall, causing a phenomenon. Everyone looked up, and the older generation figures were even more shocked. What a grand display! What a terrifying phenomenon! A terrifying roar came from the silver river that filled the sky. A roar shattered thousands of miles of mountains and rivers. The mountains below trembled, and the earth cracked open. Many human cultivators were directly knocked unconscious. The weaker ones turned into blood that dyed the sky red. Damn it! Hurry up and activate the array formation. The human powerhouses roared, and the cities activated their array formations to defend themselves. They were very angry, and they gritted their teeth. Damn it, the 10,000 ancient races. It was definitely the 10,000 ancient races. They had caused such a terrifying commotion. They were casually slaughtering the human race. They were too damned. Many human, invincible powerhouses wanted to make a move. There was nothing they could do. The impact of the other party was too great. However, they were stopped by an even more terrifying existence. Don't be rash. This is only the younger generation. Let the younger generation deal with it. If we make a move, it will probably cause an even more terrifying battle. That's right, the people in the Silver River were indeed the younger generation of the 10,000 ancient races. The Silver Race's geniuses. The Silver Race was also a royal race. This scene shocked everyone even more, especially the human race's geniuses. Their faces were filled with despair. The reason for that was because the ancient royal family was simply too terrifying. Just the aura they emitted made them tremble. They were simply unable to resist. Even Leif Daudenier and the Alcade Holy Sun had serious expressions on their faces as they felt threatened. Since the royal races had appeared, would the royal races be far away? These geniuses of the ancient royal families walked through the true spirit world. Wherever they went, everyone would give way. No one dared to fight with them. These powerful sky prides did not strike out immediately. It seemed like they were looking for the right person. For a moment, everyone in the world panicked. Many people even went into seclusion, afraid that they would be chosen by the other party. Central State, Immortal Palace. Within Immortal Palace's pill refining room, the door was tightly shut. Radiant formations surrounded it. This was the place where Lin Xian went into seclusion to refine pills. However, at this moment, a burst of pill fragrance wafted out from the pill concoction room, passing through the formation and spreading out. This scene made all of Immortal Palace's martial artists cry out in alarm. How fragrant! It was the Hallmaster. The Hallmaster's pill was almost complete. Such a fragrant medicinal pill was definitely different. Even the elders exclaimed in surprise. Their palace master was too miraculous. At such a young age, not only was he powerful, his attainments in alchemy were also terrifying. The crimson dragon rushed over from afar, and upon smelling the pill fragrance, it cried out in excitement. "Haha, success! Brat, you're really something." He was really too excited. He knew that this was refined using 8,000 years old spirit herbs from ancient ruins. The effect was absolutely terrifying. In fact, he even provided some of his blood. It seemed that the effect was surprisingly good. Sure enough, not long after, the door of the pill concoction room in front slowly opened. Lin Xian walked out, his face full of joy. "Congratulations, Hallmaster! Congratulations, Hallmaster!" Immortal Palace's martial artists cheered one after another. Lin Xian also smiled and nodded. He asked, "What happened outside these few days?" He had been in seclusion for more than a month, so he naturally wasn't too clear about what was happening outside. However, he thought that those ancient royal races should be reviving more and more. Next, the elders told Lin Xian about all the major events that happened in the past month. After Lin Xian heard this, he frowned, and a cold light flickered in his eyes. He didn't expect the 10,000 ancient races to be so arrogant. In addition to sending out envoys last time, they actually sent out their own geniuses to cause trouble. Many saints and saintesses were even defeated miserably. Fortunately, Yi Wu Dao and the others had risen, restoring hope to the human race. What comforted him was that Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu were also strong enough to win this battle. However, when he learned that the ancient royal race's geniuses had also appeared, a trace of worry appeared in his heart. From the looks of it, the ancient royal race's appearance alone had caused an abnormally terrifying scene. They definitely had an extremely powerful bloodline power and terrifying supernatural abilities. Such a person would be a great enemy. There's also another matter. The martial artist in front said, "Hallmaster, in the past month the Silver Lightning race, Tingo race, and Fire Cloud race's geniuses have constantly come to provoke us, but we rejected them all. However, they actually spread word that the Hallmaster is afraid." How hateful! However, the Hallmaster said that we shouldn't act rashly, so we didn't touch them. They didn't dare to fight? Afraid? After hearing this, Lin Xian coldly snorted, and a biting cold light appeared in his eyes. "Don't worry, leave this matter to me. I'll go into seclusion now and consume these pills. When I come out, it'll be the time of their deaths." After saying that, Lin Xian strode toward the starry hall, and the crimson dragon followed behind him. Soon, the two of them entered seclusion and consumed the pills they had refined. Not only did the pills contain 8,000-year-old spirit herbs, but they also had the effect of dragon blood. It was truly terrifying. Therefore, half a month later, Lin Xian's strength and cultivation base increased again. He ate half of the pills and gave the other half to the Crimson Dragon. His strength had increased to the peak of the early 8-star realm. The Dragon Sword Soul had also improved, and the 9-yang divine body had reached the 7th stage of the 2nd layer. Currently, Lin Xian's Archean power should be around 25,000, and this was without using the half-step sage artifact or the Dragon Sword Soul. Once he used the half-step sage artifact and the Dragon Sword Soul, his Archean power would increase again. This increase gave Lin Xian great confidence. Not to mention the Silver Lightning clan, he was confident that he could kill the prides of the Archean royal family. Boom! Boom! On the other side, the Crimson Dragon had also come out of seclusion. He also looked up to the sky and laughed. His strength had increased. It had reached 24,000 Archean power. Of course, under the condition of using some secret techniques and burning dragon blood, his Archean power would also increase rapidly. Kid, you're really abnormal. You're actually stronger than me. The Crimson Dragon was shocked when he guessed Lin Xian's Archean power. As expected of someone who had the Dragon Sword Soul and the 9-yang divine body, he had improved more than him. One had to know that he was not an ordinary dragon. He was from the Divine Dragon clan, and his bloodline was so powerful. However, Lin Xian had improved more than him. It was really shocking. However, when he thought about the Dragon Sword Soul and the 9-yang divine body, he felt relieved. Let's go and see what those prides of the Archean races have to be so arrogant. Lin Xian also waved his hand and led his people outside. Chapter 2806. The cultivators around him became excited when they saw the scene. They had been too sullen these days. They were so angry that they gnashed their teeth. The geniuses of the Silver Lightning race, Tingo race, and Fire Cloud race would come from time to time. They were extremely arrogant. They didn't put a mortal palace in their eyes at all. They even said all kinds of bad things about Lin Xian, making them vomit blood. Now that Lin Xian had come out of seclusion, they could finally beat up these 10,000 ancient races. Outside Immortal Palace, many archaic creatures stood in the void. They were from the Silver Lightning race, Tingo race, and Fire Cloud race. Their mission was to stay here and wait. As long as Lin Xian appeared, they would report it to the geniuses of their races and have their peerless geniuses come to kill him. Spread the news to the world. However, it had been more than a month, and the other party hadn't come out at all. However, they had plenty of patience. Boom! Boom! Suddenly, the clouds in the sky churned as if someone was about to come out. Seeing this scene, the archaic creatures all became excited. Could it be that someone was about to appear? Their eyes were like rainbows as they stared ahead. The array formation in front of them churned, and figures walked out one after another. The person in the lead was a handsome young man in a red robe. His black hair danced wildly as if he was an immortal. Beside him followed a dark red dragon. There were many figures behind him. They were all Immortal Palace's cultivators. It's that kid. It's Lin Xian. He came out. He finally came out. The Silver Lightning race's experts cried out in surprise. They had a grudge with Lin Xian, so they naturally knew what he looked like. Therefore, they were the first to discover him when he came out. The Tingo race and Fire Cloud race's archaic creatures also cried out in surprise. Was it that kid? He was really lucky. Hurry up and send a message to our geniuses. The three great archaic creatures quickly sent a message. That Lin Xian actually came out. 5 million miles away, a figure soared into the sky. This person had a human body, a dog head, and a pair of wings on his back. He was extremely terrifying. He was one of the Tiango race's geniuses. It seems that my luck is really good. He soared into the air. Countless clouds tumbled beneath his feet, forming a large dark cloud that carried him as he quickly flew into the distance. He was extremely arrogant. This scene was extremely terrifying. As for the martial artists in the surrounding millions of li, they all noticed this. Look, what's that? How terrifying. It was a dog demon. Are you tired of living? What dog demon? That was an expert from the Tingo clan. The Heavenly Dog race was a very powerful race among the 10,000 ancient races. They were said to be able to devour the moon. If he said the wrong thing again, he would lose his life. The Tingo clan? Their prodigies had defeated several princes of the imperial empires. What were they going to do now? It was rumored that they had always been lingering around a mortal palace, wanting to challenge Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian never appeared. Seeing the other party's anxious appearance, could it be that Lin Xian had come out of seclusion? No, they want to challenge Lin Xian. Cries of surprise could be heard. Let's go and take a look. These people couldn't hold it in any longer. They quickly soared into the sky and also flew forward. In their eyes, Lin Xian was a godlike existence. He was a monument, one of the top young prodigies. However, there was no news of him before, which shocked everyone. The ancient creatures said that Lin Xian was afraid and didn't dare to come out. However, these human powerhouses didn't believe it, especially those who had experienced the nest of 10,000 dragons. Back then, it was Lin Xian who split the nest of 10,000 dragons open with a single sword strike and saved everyone. That was something that even the sacred leaders and sect masters couldn't do. How could such a person be afraid? There must be another reason. From the looks of it, the other party was really going to come out. That's right. The one who came out this time was Lin Xian. He walked out of the array formation and looked around. Soon, he saw 7 or 8 ancient creatures nearby. However, he didn't care at all. Although these ancient creatures were powerful, they were no different from ants in his eyes. He knew that this shouldn't be a genius from the 10,000 ancient races. You're that Lin Xian? The ancient creature from the Tiango clan walked up and shouted coldly. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back and ignored him. Beside him, Hui Dao stood out. Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to our hall master? Get lost. As he spoke, his saber flew out. You're courting death. The ancient creature from the Tiango clan was furious. He also stretched out his claw, and it was as if a mountain was pressing down. The two collided, and the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Terrifying energy surged. The ancient creature from the Tiango clan was forced to retreat. Hu Yidao snorted coldly and retracted his saber. Let your peerless prodigy come out. How dare you insult our hall master? Today is the day you die. My death? What arrogance! Let's see if you have the ability to do so. Dark clouds began to gather in the sky. Then a terrifying figure descended from the sky. It was the young prodigy of the Tiango clan. As soon as he appeared, he was like an ancient demonic mountain that froze the sky. The aura of the entire world seemed to have solidified. It was so oppressive that everyone could not breathe. Formless power surged downwards, rushing towards Lin Xian and the others, intending to crush them. Oh no! The expressions of Hu Yidao and the others changed. That aura was too terrifying. They had to admit that the other party was indeed terrifying. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly and still stood with his hands behind his back. A piercing light burst out from his eyes, forming 2 sword lights that slashed forward. They met the attack head-on and directly shattered the pressure. Are you the prodigy of the Tiango clan? Lin Xian looked at the other party and asked coldly. He had to confirm the other party's identity. If he was a piece of trash, he was not worthy of his attack. That's right. I'm the prodigy of the Tiango clan, Xiao Yu. You'd better remember this. Kid, I didn't expect you to dare to come out. I thought you would be a coward for the rest of your life. Xiao Yu looked at Lin Xian and sneered. Why wouldn't I dare to come out? Do you think that you can scare me with just you alone? Lin Xian sneered in disdain. Come on, I'll kill you today and eat dog meat. Hearing this, the martial artists of Immortal Palace all laughed excitedly. The ninjas of the Tiango clan were so angry that they vomited blood, especially Xiao Yu, whose face was gloomy. You're courting death. A palm came down like a mountain, pressing down from the sky. He was furious that the other party dared to provoke him. He swore that he would teach the other party a lesson. The sky was split open, the terrifying palm rolled, and a mountain fell from the sky. This scene, It happened to be seen by the human martial artists who rushed over from afar. Those human martial artists cried out in surprise. It's an expert of the Tiango clan. It's him. He's Xiao Yu, and he has already defeated 3 saints. His strength is terrifying. What? It's him. He's from the Tiango clan, an extremely terrifying prodigy. Yes, it's rumored that he has reached 20,000 Archean strength, which is really heaven-defying. Chapter 2807. These human warriors had also started to use the title of Archean power. Moreover, they now knew what 20,000 Archean power meant. Among the younger generation, they represented the pinnacle of existence. One had to know that an ordinary saint only had 17,000 to 17,000 Archean power. 20,000, it definitely surpassed an ordinary saint. A saint could easily kill an ordinary saint. Looking at the claw descending from the sky, Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. Lin Xian stretched out a finger and pointed in front of him. As he pointed, his golden finger shone with an unparalleled light. It carried a terrifying sword qi and shot into the sky, courting death. Seeing this, Xiao Yu was enraged. He grabbed at his opponent with one hand. He was already arrogant enough, but his opponent was even more arrogant than him. He directly stretched out a finger to fight against him. Who was he? He was a prodigy of the heavenly dog race. He was so powerful that no one dared to underestimate him. Therefore, he roared, and the power of his palm increased again. With an unparalleled momentum, he crushed down. Since his opponent looked down on him, he would kill him in one blow. Facing the increased power, Lin Xian was not afraid. His finger continued to shine and pointed in front of him. However, the power was also stronger than before. A dragon's roar erupted from his finger. It turned into a giant dragon and shot up 90,000 miles. Boom! There was an earth-shattering collision. This time, it directly pierced through the giant palm in the sky. Blood splattered in the sky, and terrifying spatial cracks appeared. Xiao Yu was shocked. He could not believe that his opponent had broken through his palm. Damn it, this kid was so powerful. His face was ugly. He stretched out his other palm. This time, his palm was even more terrifying. It was like the palm of an Archean demonic beast. It stretched out from the sky. The human warriors who were watching the battle from afar were shocked and exclaimed. Many people were sent flying by this aura. Some even fell to the ground. It was too terrifying. As expected of the Central Emperor, those Archean demonic beasts roared crazily. Kill him! We must kill him! Looking at this scene, Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. He clenched his left fist and punched out. It was like a blazing sun. Boom! This punch directly blew up the other party's palm once again. The sea of blood in the sky surged, and a miserable cry rang out. Xiao Yu roared furiously in the sky. How despicable! 2 moves, 2 of his palms were smashed apart by the other party. Aside from the pain, what he felt was even more unbearable. Shame! Shame! This was his greatest shame, shame. Ever since he made his debut, he had easily killed 3 prodigies and saints, which made him think that there were not many humans who could be his match. But now he had suffered 2 losses at the hands of the other party. This was unbearable for him. Brat, you've angered me. I will definitely kill you. Xiao Yu's voice was cold. A terrifying aura was emitted from his body. It was like a vast ocean that shattered the void. A terrifying light descended from the sky, intending to destroy all traces of the world. Xiao Yu did not hold back in this attack, and its might caused the expressions of many figures of the older generation to change drastically. The faces of the human race experts also changed. They started to worry for Lin Xian. In the distance, the archaic life forms roared wildly. This was a killing move. Previously, it was this move that Xiao Yu easily defeated the other three sons. Therefore, in their view, Lin Xian similarly could not block this move. But very unfortunately this time they guessed wrong. Facing this terrifying attack, Lin Xian was fearless. He did not dodge at all, directly reaching out his palm and grabbing over. This time, his palm also became infinitely larger, as if it became a world enveloping all things. In the center of his palm, the sun, moon, and stars revolved, as if it was a real starry sky universe. These were all evolved from the great dragon sword soul, carrying an extremely powerful spiritual energy aura, directly obliterating Xiao Yu's attack. Not only that, this palm even enveloped Xiao Yu. What? It was broken. Was it so easy to break it? Those archaic life forms were stunned, especially the Chingo race archaic life forms. Their faces were full of horror, not daring to believe it. That was their ultimate killing move, and it was actually broken so easily. Who the hell was this brat? On the human race's side, everyone cried out wildly. As expected of the Central Emperor, too terrifying. It was not something those saints could compare to at all. Previously, when Xiao Yu defeated the other three saints, they had also seen the battle. At that time, they reckoned that there were probably not many people who could defeat Xiao Yu. Even if they could, it would be very difficult. But now, the shock that Lin Xian had given them was simply too much. He easily broke the other party's killing move. He even trapped the other party in his palm. Buzz! Lin Xian closed his 5 fingers, and the moon and stars revolved, obliterating everything, wanting to kill Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu's pupils constricted, and his face was full of shock. Impossible! Damn it, this is impossible. How can the other party be so powerful? Damn it, I don't believe it. Get lost! He roared, and the 2 pairs of white wings on his back spread out, transforming into 2 heavenly blades that slashed in all directions. Those white wings were very strange, and there were white runes on them. At that moment, they were incomparably flickering, and their power was much more terrifying than a heaven-grade treasure. Get lost! With a roar, the white wings slashed the world. But they could not cut open Lin Xian's palm. The pair of wings slashed on the palm, and there were clanging sounds. Countless cracks appeared in the void, but they were still unable to stop Lin Xian's palm. This scene made Xiao Yu despair, and it made the archaic creatures even crazier. On the side of the human race, they were also stunned. In the sky, the huge palm slowly closed, and then the sun, moon, and stars were obliterated and revolved, and miserable cries could be heard. Ah, ah, ah! Miserable cries could be heard, and blood rain fell from the sky, flowing down from the gaps of the huge palm, piercing through the void. What? He was injured! Seeing this scene, the human race experts exclaimed, and the archaic creatures were shocked. Especially those from the heavenly dog race, they screamed crazily. Damn brat, let go of our genius! You dare to hurt him, you're dead! These people roared, but it was still useless. In the sky, the blood rain became more and more terrifying. The blood dripped down and was directly collected by the crimson dragon below. This was the blood of an archaic creature, and it contained a strange energy, so he naturally would not let it go. Xiao Yu also let out a sharp cry. Damn brat, you dare to kill me! His body had been shattered dozens of times, and after reassembling, it would be obliterated by the sun, moon, and stars. Now he was finally afraid, because his soul was also beginning to be attacked. If his soul was obliterated, then he would really be dead. He never thought that the other party would really dare to kill him. He was not an ordinary archaic creature, but one of the top geniuses of the heavenly dog race. Moreover, what frightened him was that even with his 20,000 archaic power, he could not fight back in front of the other party. In 3 simple moves, he was in a life and death situation. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.